What's up, tricksters and tricksetas, and welcome to another Tier 3 sub live coaching presented by our favorite trading coach, CHARLATAN. Today at our coaching table, we have our friend, Professor Koch, and he is the Ascendant 1 Chamber main playing on Haven. I know the VOD says it's...
Surprise, motherfucker!
We're not gonna start a VOD review now. We don't need to do a VOD review anymore. Professor, see you tomorrow. I'm joking. Like, thank you, Adam. Thank you a lot, bro. I really appreciate it, bro. We already, like, we need to do, like, 4 more giveaways. But I'm gonna do them, like, when I come back from my vacation. So, in the title, it says that he is Diamond 3. You know? But he is actually peak Ascendant 3, so... Ascendant 3 minus Diamond 3, it is Ascendant 1. Deal with it. First, I'm gonna invite him a bit later. First, I wanna see what he said to us before we start. Background check. What is this? Police patrol. Started playing Valorant ranked since episode 2, act 1. I picked the 99 rank rating Ascendant 3. Aye. 1 RR to Immortal 1, huh? Back in V25 Act 1, and as I have gotten older, I have less time to play. I usually still place around Diamond 3 or Ascendant 1. I'm a Sentinel main, through and through. If I had to pick another role, it would be Controller, maybe a little Initiator, never Duelist, not for me. Main agents are Cypher and Killjoy, recently really trying to play a more carry role with Chamber. Goal is to hit Immortal. Problems. I have hit a brick wall, I just am not getting better over the last years. I like consistency and if I'm consistent, I'm consistently average. And that is just not enough to rank up. I love VCT watching pro play and watching teamwork and perfect executions. I hate commas in sentences, but that's fine. I can still read this message. That's what makes me love this game. I want to be able to do those things to some degree in my own games. But I know, in reality, I solo queue and that teamwork is not there, but I'm a team-oriented player. Listen, like, in ranked solo queue, there is no team-oriented players. Like literally, there's no team. There's no team play in ranked solo queue. That's why it's called solo queue. Like, yes, you still want to play it as a team. You still want to try to win as a team, but you're definitely not going to be doing some VCT Pro strategies in ranked solo queue. Like the whole point of ranked solo queue is very simple. Like, you want to master all of the fundamentals. You want to become hyper efficient at executing those fundamentals. You want to learn how to compensate every single mistake that your teammates can make. You want to learn how to counter every shit that enemies can do. And as a number 6, you want to drink Pepsi Max just a second. Love it. As a number 6, in ranked solo queue, what you really want to focus on is adaptiveness and recognizing patterns. You know, like, when you play a game of Valorant, there is around like 2,000 scenarios that are gonna repeat for you 24/7. Basically, once you learn how to adapt yourself to these 2,000 scenarios, Valorant becomes very boring because you already know what to do, when to do it, etc, etc. Like, only deciding factor that's gonna decide whether or not you win the matches is your mechanical skill, which you should be, you know, trying to improve anyways. I'm trying to adjust to a more individual player by playing Chamber more. I have a problem of looking at what my teammates are doing or aren't doing, and it affects my mental and my gameplay. It's a bad habit. You will see I get hyper-focused on the Brimstone playing lineups and can easily affect the morale of the team as a whole. I'm told I come too much in my games. But in ranked solo queue, like, yeah, you know, there is a limit of the comms that you should be giving to your teammates for 2 reasons. Reason number 1 is, like, a lot of the players get annoyed when you speak too much. Reason number 3 is, like, players don't give a fuck in ranked solo queue. A lot of the players are autopiloting, so it's very important that your comms are well structured. Like, basically, 1 sentence, 2 sentence, 3 sentence call out maximum. that you will probably have to repeat it anyways, like at least 2 more times, so that your teammates understand what you want them to do and what we should do. But yeah, you will see. I get hyper. No one really comes, so I feel I need to make up for that and come for them. Good, it's a good habit. I'm getting my setups from VCT or watching pro VODs. At Ascendant, low immortal, diamond skill level, you're definitely not implementing VCT setups or professional VODs. Let's make that clear. Like basically, if like 95% of the setups and macro utility usage that you see in the VCT either doesn't work in ranked solo queue, or you need to adapt it for the ranked solo queue in some kind of a way. Gear, Wooting 68G, okay. Zawi U2, BenQ SRSC, so it's not a GSR. Asus ROG Strix, I don't know. What is the... Is this OLED? Probably OLED. 800 DPI, 0223, 1080, 240 Hz. Okay, so it's not OLED. Okay, let's invite the Professor Cooker. Hello, you there?
Yo.
Hello, Professor.
Okay.
Okay.
How we doing?
I'm good, man. How are you, bro?
I'm doing good, man. I'm ready to get this. I'm ready for you to give it to me.
Okay, I mean, already based on the stuff that you told me, I have some kind of an idea, you know, what I'm gonna recommend you and what type of training you're gonna get, but let's go with it, you know, through the VOD and let's see what you can do better in general. Now, can you tell me, like, what is the refresh rate of this monitor?
240 hertz.
So that's max, like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How old are you? Where are you from? And how much free time do you have to play Valorant per day?
Let's see. I forgot the question. I'm 27.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in Missouri.
Okay.
And so during the week, I can really probably play like maybe 2 games a night. And then on the weekends, like especially now it's new act, I've been playing a lot. So, but
Okay.
that kind of depends. Weekends kind of depend.
Okay, great. I mean, you pretty much answered everything that you know I need to know right now. Load up Valorant. I mean, you're already in Valorant. Like, show me your screen and go into the practice range. I wanna check something.
All right. Let me know you can see it.
Sec. Okay. I'm in. Go to the practice L range. Okay, so I just want you to do 2 things. That should be enough for me to see something. I want you to do medium bots 2 times. The first time you're gonna do them without moving at all, and the second time you're gonna be strafing left and right. You can pick any weapon, Vandal, Phantom, Sheriff, whatever you like. Are we playing today? Yeah, after this VOD review, we will be grinding some Valorant. Tonight I have nothing to do, basically, like... I mean, I need to make a video, but... I'll do it tomorrow. Anyways, my teeth and neck hurts a lot, bro. Okay, let's schmove a bit. Abida, you know what? I'm a clutch player only when I bait my whole team. Pretty much that's the only way for you to end up in a clutch. Every round is a clutch round for this dude. Okay, okay. General. Scroll down. Scroll down. Always show inventory. Turn that option on. Fourth from above, I think. In that paragraph, other. Yep. Show bullet tracers. Turn them on. I play with the tracers. Like it's better for like 99% of the players. Spectator count on. Oh, off. Sorry. You don't need it. You know. Go to controls. Which other games did you play before Valorant? Like, do you have any achievements in other games? Like, anything? Like, I don't know, Gold League, something like that?
Let me see. I mean, Valorant, when I started PC gaming, probably, it's been a while now, probably like right before COVID. Valorant was the first game I picked up, so it was the first FPS game. I mean, League, I didn't really play League. I played Smite, and I was a higher rank in Smite. I usually play FPSs, so in R6, Rainbow Six, I got Champion. What other shooters have I played? Like usually most games I play, I am usually around Platter Diamond or like right above like good people.
Okay, okay. Equipment. Toggle
Yeah,
zoom
definitely.
level. Toggle zoom level, you need to have some kind of a button there assigned. Very important when you're mastering an operator, very important to use. I mean, especially if you're using hold for sniper rifle aim, I don't know how do you double scope. Plus, you want to play chamber, you will be using operator a lot of times. You can put any button that is, I don't know, like mouse wheel up, mouse wheel down is okay, then a left alt C, X, V, anything that you know, is not really interfering with your main movement.
Yeah. Okay. I'll mess with that in a little bit.
No, that's good. Scroll down. Disable mouse wheel up and mouse wheel down from cycling the weapons. Now you cycle the weapons 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's it. Put the equip spike on 5 instead of 4. We don't want to have any interference there, like when you're on the bomb site, how do you drop the spike to your teammates? You can't, you need to jump, then drop, you need to plant, then drop, like, now you equip the spike in 5, you defuse and plant in 4, and that's it. Auto-equip skips melee on. Scroll up. Communication. Technical calls in the chat, turn them on. Video. Down. AMD anti-lag, turn it on. The last option.
Where is it?
The last option. Graphics. Anisotropy filtering 8x. Improve clarity on. Experimental on. You can keep bloom on as well, like it's not really gonna hurt you that much. Stats. Scroll down. Huh. Never mind. Never mind. Go to audio. Go to voiceover. Okay. Show me your booting settings, and that's gonna be it. Why do you play on 100 ping? Because I'm from Europe and I play on North America servers. Hey. Why do I do that? If that is your question, gonna be the next question. I'm a racist towards Europeans. Okay. Oh, I didn't know we are coaching tens. Just
I downloaded that.
Yeah, oh yeah. So using his like that one, huh?
Yeah, I used like his default thing that he had on the website.
Okay, go to extraction point. Rapid trigger. I mean, I can actually see it. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Okay, I mean, that seems fine. Like, you know, this is okay. We'll see. We'll see as you play the game. I really don't want to F you up right now and be like, you know, and then change the settings again. You can stop sharing the screen. We don't need to see it anymore. I'm gonna share you my screen so you don't need to watch stream or some bullshit like that. Okay, that's good. just mute the sound of the stream because you're gonna hear the music. Stream on Discord. Do you hate French people or Turkish people more? I don't hate anyone, bro, like. I hate European Valorant players. That's what I hate. I don't... I'm not too specific about that. Especially in high elo. Everyone below Immortal 3 is fine. Now, let's see your tracker. So, yeah. The story goes like this. Pretty much okay playtime. You know, like, you never really made any drastic, like, you know, breaks from playing Valorant. And generally speaking, like, we can say that you are a bit stuck when it comes to being an Ascendant player. So basically, usually players like you either develop like some habits that are going to require us to, you know, fix through a longer period of time, like at least 8 weeks or even more, or basically you're just completely misunderstanding, like, you know, what is actually your job in ranked solo queue, what you should be doing, or you're just struggling with identity overall because, you know, I can see here that, I mean, you play whatever the fuck you want to play from act to act, basically, like a bit of Cypher, a bit of Chamber, a bit of Claw, a bit of Vice, then Killjoy, then Viper. I mean, yeah, you're mainly sticking to the Sentinels overall, but in these ranks, like, usually you're gonna have a really hard time ranking up and reaching higher ranks by playing someone like Cypher or Killjoy or something like that. And usually what happens for the players that do play these agents through a prolonged period of time, like, you really develop that a bit more of a passive mentality, basically, and generally passive gameplay, which can hurt you quite a lot. I mean, we're gonna see right now, you know, in your Chamber gameplay how you actually play the game, because with the Chamber you should play semi-aggressively in almost every single round. You should be trying to get some early contact, early information, early kill. We'll see if you're doing that on a defender side and how you're playing on the attack, like how many times you're lurking, flanking, and doing some bullshit like that. I mean, not bullshit, but at which moments of times you do it. Also, like, a huge problem for you is probably that if you watched the ginormous amount of VCT and pro play, like, basically, yes, for my playbook and generally how I play the game, I also stole some of the strategies, some of the tactics from VCT and pro play, but I always adapt this shit based on what has the highest chances to work in the ranked solo queue environment. Where, like, whenever you're making some kind of a strategy or tactic for ranked solo queue, like, it should be a solo queue tactic, you know, like tactic where you don't really rely on your teammates whatsoever, and even if your teammates don't do a proper job, you can pivot that tactic or that strategy into some different direction, basically, even if they miss the smoke, utility, or whatever you ask them to do, like, we can still use it in some kind of a way to win the round and have higher chances of getting the kills and winning that specific round. Now, when it comes to the tracker, we're gonna take a look at the previous act because, I mean, the new act just started, so it's like whatever. Overall, pretty much your average at everything that you're doing right now. I mean, like, you definitely deserve to be, like, let's say, Ascendant. You know, Ascendant 1, Ascendant 2. Like, the stats are in that region where you deserve to be in the position in which you're right now. There's not a single statistic that is, like, a big problem for you that is gonna keep you from ranking up to Ascendant 2, for an example, or Ascendant 3 during this act. But problem is, like, you know, there's also not a single stat that is like, oh my god, you know, this player is hyper carrying his matches, etc, etc. But the good thing is, like, that every single stat of yours is in the range of optimal for the ranked solo queue grind, and as long as you can keep the stats at that range, like, you know, you're a player that can easily reach a bit higher ranks, you know, like, I don't know how far you can go, probably with this type of stats, like, you know, if you're dropping these type of stats in Diamond 3 and Ascendant 1, basically, you probably can get Ascendant 3 during this act, even without any help, any coaching or anything, and then, you know, probably the more problems you're gonna have from Ascendant 3 to, Immortal 3. Everything that I'm gonna share with you, like every tip, every rule, every private coaching video, every training, whatever I make for you, our main goal is making out of you a consistent, medium, elo player in the next, I don't know, 8 weeks, basically. Like, that would be a generous amount of time. So, I basically want you to be able to reach Immortal with your eyes closed. That is the goal number 1. And I want you to have a chance until the end of this year to hit Immortal 3 for the first time. Once you hit Immortal 3, then we can talk about some other topics. When it comes to like stats on the agents, agents are not really your problems here, at least from the tracker. Like, your whole tracker, like, is giving me a vibe of, not a vibe, like, basically what your tracker is telling us is that you're just fundamentally lacking something in your gameplay that is preventing you from ranking up a bit faster and keeping that 60% win rate, essentially, in ranked solo queue. So, and we're gonna see today, like, in the VOD review, what is that fundamental problem that you have. Like, for the chamber specifically, like, you're just dying way too many times alone, and you have way too many solo deaths, and that should not be possible with a, it should not be possible that you have 48% win rate with 151 ADR and 118 KD. With those type of stats, in 33 matches, you should be able to drop a 60% win rate quite easily, let's be honest. I mean, right now, I'm not getting 151 ADR, like, even with a 60% win rate, like, I'm getting, like, 140 or something. Like, you just fight the fights that you need to fight. Like, that are gonna win you the rounds, that are gonna make you some kind of an advantage, and you need to play in that self-preservation mode in ranked solo queue, because every single time when you die, alone, without a refrag, and you're praying to God that your teammates are gonna win the round, you could have done something better. And you cannot complain if your teammates lose that round. So you always want to be in control in some kind of a way, and especially when you're playing chamber, you can always achieve that. As a chamber, you can beat as fuck, basically, like, especially with the teleport and the way how you take the fights, like, even if your teammates are baiting you, with the teleport you can bait them. By going out, picking an instant fight, then TPing back, they're already in, then you're playing a refrag game, etc, etc. Now, of course, like, I don't want you to bait your teammates, I want you to fight with them, I want you to protect them, I want you to refrag them, I want you to make them stay alive, but essentially, like, you don't always need to be, I mean, you should never be dying in some 50-50 fights early on, whatsoever, and you don't need to be the first contact always. Also, it's gonna be very interesting to see how many times you lurk, flank, and play alone. That's gonna be very interesting because you definitely played a lot of Sentinels in your lifetime. And another problem is, I don't know why we're playing so many agents, like, what's with all of this right here. Like, I really want you to lock in on to just 1, 2, 3 characters maximum, and based on your playstyle and based on what we see like today, depends what you're gonna play. Maybe we are even gonna switch you onto Duelist, I'm not gonna lie. Like, usually the players like you can benefit from a drastic change in a playstyle for a few months or a few weeks, just so that you experience a different side of Valorant and so that you can develop, like, different skill sets. During that period, you're probably not gonna rank up, you're not gonna, see Immortal soon, but it's gonna be beneficial for your long-term grind. Like, one thing that helped me a lot throughout the years is that I got Radiant on every single role and, on majority of agents in Valorant, and that drastically improved, like, my adaptiveness, my reaction to patterns, reaction to, like, different abilities, different combos, essentially, in the game, and different sequences that you can encounter. So, it can be beneficial for you as well, especially to experience a bit more of that, like, fast-paced gameplay rather than just sitting tight. When it comes to the general stats, your clutch percentage is suboptimal, as per usual when I'm doing these VOD reviews. Basically, you can do something better in 1v1s and 1v2s. I don't know what is that better. I'm gonna give you some blueprints, how to self-analyze and how to self-improve in those situations. After this review, first bloods, first deaths are okay, not that good. You know, like generally speaking, you want to keep this number at 20% higher than this number, basically. So I don't know if you have a okay, this is actually 20%. I'm just fucking dumb, like my bad. But actually, it's you're once again average at another statistic, which is not bad, by the way. Like when you have these like average optimal stats, it simply means that you deserve to be in the rank in which you're right now. You can probably pull like a 51-52% win rate, but usually for the rank solo queue grind, like you need to aim towards the 60%, like so that you're improving a bit faster, so that you're ranking up a bit faster. And I firmly believe that any player that is below like Immortal 3 can easily pull 60% win rate in a span of 1,000 games that he plays. Now, KST, okay, that's fine. Last deaths are not bad, but we're not clutching that many rounds. Attacker side, okay. Defender side, okay. So on defense you get less kills but more round wins, and on attack you get less round wins but more kills. Well, that's interesting. We can probably convert more rounds on attack, considering you're dropping 1.1, but we'll see. Agents, we'll talk about that after we finish this VOD review. Loadouts should always look like this. Pistol should be your best rounds. Full bar rounds number 2. Semi number 3. Eco number 4. Basically, you can do something better. Much better in the pistol rounds. Pistol rounds are definitely your biggest enemy right now, and you're losing quite a lot of them. You know, with this type of stats, it's impossible that you're winning at least 60 to 80% of your pistol rounds. It's more like it's like 50-50 for you. So either you need to change the way how you play the first rounds, the strategy that you implement on attack and defense, or the weapons that you're using, or you can maybe get better with the pistols, or maybe like you're playing the wrong positions, wrong sites, or something like that. Because you're a sentinel player, like, you know, if I pull out, let's say, Ascend game here, where are you gonna play? In the first round on a defender side. You're playing B site. Well, you should be playing A site, just for your information. Now, weapon versatility, you know, it's actually okay. It's actually not that bad. Like, you are trying to use more of an op. Vandal definitely works much better for you than Phantom. Like, I would definitely recommend you to just stick with the Vandal. You know, these stats are so much better than your stats with the Phantom. It's always a personal preference. If you play with one weapon better than other, just main that weapon and that's it. But keep in mind that you definitely need to get a bit better with the Phantom and then practice the gunplay in deathmatch, practice range, or through any aim training that I'm gonna share with you. Bandit is there, even though with the Bandit we're pulling a very bad stats at this moment of time. You can definitely use a bit more of a Spectre, Outlaw, Stinger, Shorty, Marshall, Bucky, Judge. Okay, maybe not Bucky, but, you know, these other weapons. Like, 3 kills. Especially when you're playing, like, below Immortal 1. Players are just dumb. They overswing everything. They peek everything without any utility. They just want to fight 24/7. And you can abuse these weapons to a very high degree of efficiency. Even a weapon such as Odin, for an example. So maybe you can improve yourself on this point. You know, just trying to diversify yourself a bit. Like, try to master every single weapon. Try to implement them into your gameplay. And try to, you know, get some of these cheesy kills instead of always fighting hard. When it comes to the maps... Okay. Definitely Sunset is not one of the best for you. Okay, do you have any questions right now?
I don't. I think you're kind of nailing it on the head, though. Like it said, I'm pretty average. I just like that's what I mean. Like I feel stuck. It just feels like I can't like carry these games that I'm in.
Yeah, I mean, like, as I said, like, you know, being average is not bad. for your rank. It just means that you deserve to be here. You deserve to fight these enemies, and you know, you deserve everything that you got right now, but you just need to bump up everything by around 20%, and we're gonna make some kind of a training in which we can achieve this through the next like few weeks. Now, let's talk about the Haven. We're starting on a defender side. Which is better between Twitch and Kick to start streaming? Twitch, bro, like, Kick is just dead, you know, very, very dead, bro, in my opinion. But you don't want to stream, man, like, first, make some TikToks, I don't know, like, Instagram posts, YouTube shorts, bullshit like that. Build some small audience, and then start streaming, bro. Especially, you know, multi-streaming on TikTok is really good. Like, there's a lot of people that go by your stream. Not everything gonna stick, you know, not everything is gonna be interesting in what you do, but, and you're gonna get a lot of interesting comments, but, you know, free views, if nothing else. Now, let's talk about
30 seconds left.
Haven. So on the Haven, on a defender side, the story goes like this. So everything is covered in the playbook that I've already shared with you, and you have it like, you know, as long as you're a tier 3 sub, but you get in a match of Valorant. Like, you need to have a plan before the game even starts. How you want to play the first round, second round, third round, fourth round, what you want to do if the enemies are eco, halba, bonus, if enemies have this ultimate, what should I mainly expect from the enemies, all of that stuff. And also, what the hell should I expect from my team, and, you know, how should I play around these team comps right here. So Haven on a defender side is a slow rotation map, meaning that from the round number 5, you are rotating only based on the info that you have at that moment of time from the previous rounds and from the current round that you're playing. So you're not making any blind or fast rotations on this map from the round number 5. But in the first 4 rounds, on the first contact between your team and an enemy team, go. Make some kind of a move, rotate, play with your team. Team play over the map control in the first 4 rounds. A site, number 1 priority. C site, number 2. B site, number 3. Generally, you want to start Haven by playing on the A site in the first round. Second round, you always play around the garage, because whenever enemies are playing some kind of an eco, hull by bonus, or force by round, chances are 80% that the first contact between your team and the enemy team is going to happen somewhere here. And you need to be in control of that. And also we need to keep the garage control in those type of rounds. From the round number 3, you're purely positioning based on patterns that the enemies made, and based on what you think enemies are going to do next with their team composition and utility and economy. On this map, whenever you're not certain what the enemies are going to do next, you can simply play a fast rotation setup. Basically, like, start around the garage, start around the B site, and play fast rotations between A and C. If you already have no idea what enemies are going to do, and where you can get an early pick, early kill, and early numbers advantage. Now, when it comes to the team comps, one thing that we need to be aware of is that enemy team comp is like, okay, you know, they're really not liking anything special on both attack and defense. The only thing that enemies are liking is a true sentinel to basically cover the choke points. So maybe we can go for some flanks and lurks in this match if we see a timing to do that. Also, like, basically, they don't have any stuns, so we can abuse that as well. If Sova is really bad with his utility, we can abuse that as well. But of course, like, we should respect Sova's utility in early rounds, because I don't know how well he's gonna be using it overall. You know, Phoenix has flashes, so be aware of that. Like, you don't want to waste your teleport ability by being blinded by the Phoenix. So we need to play around the cover and hold a bit more cheeky angles, where we are not wasting our TP immediately. When it comes to your team comp, standard rank solo queue shit, basically. Like, you know, nothing too special, but we have everything that we need to win on both attack and defense. You know, we don't like literally anything except maybe a dart or something instead of the jizzing flesh from the gecko. But it's okay. You know, like literally we really don't need to pay attention on that many things in this game. Usually what happens on this map is like when you see that Sova has the ultimate, it's usually gonna be the C execute. If you see that Phoenix needs one ultimate orb for the ultimate, you can easily get a pick on the C long, because that's what Phoenix players are gonna do a lot of the times. Also, if the Phoenix has the ultimate, you should expect the 5-man push from the enemies, and that enemies are not gonna lurk flank or something like that. Now, in this first round of Haven, story is very simple. We always use the same setup, and we play on the A side because A side is our default site, and I covered everything in the playbook. Why is that so? This is the setup you should use with the chamber. Trademark goes for the beam in here. You put a teleport here, or you can also put it here, so that you know you have it deeper in the A short, and you have three options, depending on how you feel. Option number 1, classic light shield, 2 headhunters. Option number 2, 6 headhunters. Option number 3, bandit. I love bandit. It's one of my best weapons. I'm keeping a very high scores with this weapon, and I'm taking some enormous amount of kills with this gun. You play whatever you prefer and whatever suits your playstyle and you as a player. The most optimal choice is kinda like a bandit, because you have more bullets. It's a very powerful weapon for the first round, and with the chamber you don't need to waste your money on any other utility for the first round except the trademark. But options are really up to you and up to what type of player you are. Also, option number 4, classic shorty strategy. Actually, it's more like a headhunter shorty strategy in this case. So what you can buy is a shorty, classic, 3 headhunters. And you play a classic shorty strategy in the A short area of the map in the same way that we would do with a Jet, Omen, Raze, etc, etc. So it is really up to you, whatever you prefer, and whichever option suits your playstyle the best. For this rank, probably you're gonna find a lot of kills with a shorty here. You know, players are very ignorant when it comes to utility usage, angle clearing. Like, players are just really bad. Especially now that I had a chance to play in NA for more than 4 months. My god, players don't really like using utility whatsoever. Like, literally, and angle clearing is so bad for Ascendant and Immortal skill level that, you know, pretty much you can get away with shits like this quite easily. So, what I would personally recommend you to do, just get a bandit and go for an early peek and try to get a kill, because why the fuck not? You're playing chamber, and yeah. Oh, yo, my teeth. Did you see today's Bleach episode? No. Hey, yo. No spoilers, man. Did you abandon your grind, or are you planning to play 180 games? No, I'm playing 800 matches up until Radiant on NA. Good rotation. Now this is, you know, like, this is why Bandit is so good. Like, when you end up in a retake like this, for an example, having a Bandit is like at least 30% better than having a Headhunter. You can spam the walls, you can spam around the cover, you have like so many more bullets that you can use to kill the enemies, and fighting multiple enemies is just much easier. You know, even, especially if you whiff maybe one shot or something like that, it's very easy to micro-correct, readjust compared to the Headhunters.
Wait for his breach. Alright, you have flash or anything?
I'm gonna flank if you can wait.
Heard. He said wait. Backside. Ming's hit 50.
Okay, very good. Okay, that's, so far when it comes to your comms, this is all good shit, you know, basic information, like nothing too special, like, good kill there.
Nice, guys.
Good follow-up, okay? Good. First round, nothing really to complain about, literally, like, all good. Now listen, with Chamber, you really want to get the money for the Operator for the round number 4. So usually, if you win this first round, with a chamber you should be running in the round number 2. Marshall, heavy shield, and 1 trademark. And that's it. In the round number 3, you're playing a bonus with that Marshall. And in the round number 4, you will always have money for the operator. Now, in this round right now, in this match right now, enemies did plant the spike. Maybe they're gonna force. So that is the only reason why getting the outlaw is fine at this moment of time. And that's it, basically. Like, literally, that's the only reason why getting outlaw right now is okay. But if the enemies didn't plant the spike, or you're certain they're not gonna play a force based on the, I don't know, you know, score line, but, you know, we just started the match, so we didn't play the half, then I would definitely play a Marshall, just to save money, you know, for the op as soon as possible, and so that I'm not wasting too many credits for that. Now, this play that you're doing here is not something I would do in a round number 2, where the enemies are playing a bit of a hull by eco bonus or some shit like that. Because you don't want to showcase to enemies your best strategies and tactics in these type of rounds. Like, these type of rounds, you should always play a bit more in a default way. And you should not be showcasing to enemies like the angles, off angles, and aggressive plays that you like to do on a defender's side. Why? So that you're not instantly conditioning enemies to think about your tendencies as a player. Like, in this round, you know, in the second round, no matter if you win it or lose it, you're always playing around the garage. And if you don't have anyone defending C site, you can just put a tripwire, a trademark, towards the C, get a outlaw, put a TP up here, start in the window, hold this off angle right here, and that's it. This is a free kill for you into the window. After a kill, you can teleport. If the enemies are going window, or, you know, like peeking the window or peeking the mid, you can jump up, go for another shot, reset yourself, and that's it. There's really no reason to pressure the enemies, to peek the enemies aggressively, or to play in this way. And what's very dangerous in this round is, in this round, chances that enemies go C or that enemies go garage are above 80%. And there's literally nobody defending C setting garage. Like, in this round, you need to play garage. Like, in this round number 2 of Haven. You don't have any... So, what type of setup we should actually be using based on our teammates' positioning? In this round, we're quite literally forced to use this type of a setup, where we put a trademark for the garage, put a teleport up here. For the first 5 seconds, you're holding the garden and holding the window from this tight off angle. If you don't see anyone there, or you do go for a shot, you're teleporting away, instantly clearing the long, and then positioning yourself to defend, you know, both long and C, or... That really depends, you know, what type of utility enemies use and where you get the kills and where you see the enemies. But this is quite dangerous that we have, like, 0 info on the C long and then in the garage.
One more mid, one more.
Also, no, why am I telling you that we have 0 info in the garage? You put this trademark here. This trademark doesn't scout the enemies if they do this. Now, a lot of times enemies will get triggered. You know, like, maybe they're not gonna hear the trademark and they will think that they cannot pass it. But as a chamber player, you're never putting a trademark behind this cover for the garage. You're always putting the trademark right here. It should be a diagonal trademark that is disallowing the enemies to go for this peak without being spotted.
More mid, Phoenix.
And enemies don't see it from the garden.
I'm reloading, bro. Reloading.
Spike down A.
Okay. I mean, we have all of the info.
Is he in the cubby? Or was he deeper?
Right side, right.
Alright, I'm walking out.
One
Yeah, like, as you mentioned, like, we can already see in the round number 2 that maybe you're not really paying attention to what your teammates are doing. Because you end up in this type of a 3v2. Like, you have a very simple mentality. I don't give a fuck where is the spike. I don't give a fuck into getting some 50-50 fights with the enemies. I don't give a fuck if the enemies plant the spike. The only fucks that I give about is I want to play with the teammates that have the highest chance of dying, and that I can easily refrag, and I can just convert this advantage consistently. So here, okay, we know that one guy is bottom mid, but there is no way in this lifetime that I'm gonna be the first contact fighting that Phoenix with 47 HP, outlaw invested in the second round, and the guy can body shot me on any range and kill me with a sheriff. Like, I'm gonna bait the shit out of this Brimstone. He is gonna be the first contact. I'm gonna save this weapon for the third bonus round and try to clutch up that round as well for my team. And I'm gonna make sure that also my Brimstone doesn't die and that I pick together with him, and basically, you know, we get that easy frag on the Phoenix. But extending here, after the Phoenix decided to, sorry, Brimstone decided to dip out, fuck it. Let this Phoenix do whatever he wants. This Phoenix is a dead man. Like, what we should be focusing right now is on helping this Gecko, rotating towards him, and killing this Sova. Once we kill the Sova, we can just hold, you know, this angle if the Phoenix decides to go for some flank and lurk, or we can pretty much abandon everything on the map and just triple stack in the aim and area of the map. One guy is holding long, one guy is holding short, one guy is holding main. We're playing a refrag together. Here, like, this right here is unnecessary risk, and I really need you to pay attention, especially if you're playing chamber. This is important. Like, you really want to build a strong, very, very strong economy in the early rounds, so that you can get the operator in at least 3 out of 12 rounds, and you need to build up at least 2 ultimates in 1 half. Like, that is like your goal when you're playing chamber. Like, at least 5 or 6 out of 12 rounds on defense, you should be having operator with yourself. And especially this second anti-eco round, your only job is like winning this round with the least amount of casualties possible, and in the most simple and easy way. Like, you're not trying to try hard too much, you don't give a fuck about the kills. Like, just, guys, let's close out this round and be done with it. I need to focus on winning the third bonus round, which is far more important to turn the tides of this match. This absolutely unnecessary fight, no reason to fight here and to overextend whatsoever. Now, when it comes to the shots, well, that's a bit concerning, I'm not gonna lie. Like, flicking is not, micro corrections are not really, you know, that good in this fight, and the raw aim basically just fucked you up here like nothing else. We'll see how many times this repeats for you, and I'll make some kind of an aim training for you after this VOD review.
Try to walk on shore.
But you're just taking that fight in a much harder way. Like that Phoenix is the one that needs to fight. That Phoenix is the one under the pressure. Like, you don't need to pressure that guy whatsoever. Like, if you think he's gonna peek you there, you know, for an example, just hold a tight angle here, be done with him, move on to the next fight. You also could have just ignored that Phoenix. You know, this, like, you just need to understand that in Valorant, like 50% of that fights that Diamond, Ascendant, and low Immortal players take are the fights that they should never be taking, or they don't need to take alone. Like, literally, and this is one of those examples. Like, already in the round number 2. And now look at this. This bonus round, we are forced to play with a stupid light shield and 5 headhunters. And now your chances of clutching this round for your teammates and winning it for your team is like what? You know, below like 20%, 10%. Like, we need to hit some crazy headshots. Like, enemies need to play super bad in order for us to win this round right now. Now, this setup that you used right here is a fast rotation setup when you have no idea where the enemies are gonna go next. And only then you should be using this setup. Like, when you need to rotate fast towards the B set, C set, etc, etc. But if you think that enemies are gonna go A in this round, it's much better if you get some secondary off angle on the bomb site to fuck up the enemies and kill them, instead of, you know, getting a fast rotation into the A link. So I don't know what is your thought process here. Like, do you think that enemies are gonna go A? Are you that certain? You can speak. This is a live VOD review. Like, you
Heard. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I thought they were going A here. I felt an A. I thought an A rush was coming.
Okay,
So I wanted
okay,
to get
okay.
a shot on A short.
Because I personally think that enemies are gonna go for the 5-man push on C in this round, only because of the early patterns. Because first of all, we don't have a hardcore sentinel, which a lot of players like to abuse by the fact of going C, you know, because Chamber is not really a sentinel that can efficiently defend the C site. And the second reason is, in the first round enemies went C, in the second they went A. Actually, they defaulted a bit towards the A set and mid. So the chances are just around 60 to 70% in this round that enemies are going to do some kind of a C split or a C push. That's why in this round, what I would personally do is put a trademark in the garage again, put a teleport right here, hold this tight angle to get the first body shot or the first headshot and the first damage applied, drop down, go for the second shot, TP up, go for the first shot, or hold this angle like this as a more of an off angle, and then continue fighting with my Mr. Gecko on the site. But as you said, if you're certain that enemies are gonna go A, like you think enemies are gonna go A, create a better setup. You know, like put a TP up here. You can still go for the short peek. Take those frags. You get a secondary off angle, and now maybe you can get one more kill. I mean, I think in the last YouTube video that I uploaded today, I did this setup and I got 3-4 easy kills, like on Haven, literally, like, you know, whenever I don't know, I just in these Ascendant low immortal lobbies, like players are just way too unaware for the rank in which they're playing, in my opinion. You can also, you know, like put a TP up here, hold this tight angle, try to go for one tap. Then when the enemies swing out, you can abuse the peeker's advantage to go for another shot. When you TP up here, enemies from the short don't see you. You can go for another shot, and then you can just reposition, you know, depending on where are your teammates, what are they doing, and then are you fighting with anyone else on the bomb site. But put, you know, like, the problem is, like, if you think that enemies are gonna go A, you cannot put the TP into the A link, you're just gonna teleport into the A link, and then, God help, your Reyna and Jet defending the A set alone. You never wanna put your teleport in a way that this allows you to play with your teammates that might be aggressive, and that might be taking, you know, a bit harder fights.
Outside A.
Oh, you actually forced... And you got... Was someone good in the... Someone dropped you Outlaw? Oh, Mr. Brimstone.
Yeah, Brim picked me up.
Hello, Mr. Brim. Okay. No, it's not gonna happen that often, but... W for the Mr. Brimstone. W. Even more reason. Instead of creating the short setup, to create some kind of a setup in the A main area of the map, because, you know, with a Outlaw, for an example, it's very easy getting 2 body shots in the A long area of the map. Like, basically hitting this shot, like, when holding these tight angles, hold them as tight as your current reaction time allows you. How can you figure out that? Play some unranked games, standard matches, swift play, and just hold these angles in a deathmatch, and just try to figure out how tight can I hold an angle to still get 3 out of 10 shots on a position like this. My reaction time allows me to hit a shot here 3 out of 10 times, maybe even more depending on the angle. I don't know what is your reaction time. So here we can go for 1 tap, bam, 1 body shot, minus 140 HP for 1 enemy. We reset, enemies pass out a bit, you listen to the footsteps. Maybe you hit a head, maybe a body shot, doesn't matter, like, you're still gonna deal at least 280 damage onto the enemies. Now we have the headhunters. If the enemies are rushing you fast, we can use 5 headhunters to delete one enemy from this off angle, or to simply support our teammates, depending where they are fighting, which is 10 times better than dipping from the site immediately.
Outside A. Droning, short.
Now, so, what do you do in a situation like this? You're playing chamber with a teleport, and the enemy's recon ability is coming at your face. Excuse my French. So, you have only two options. You're either trying to intercept this drone and peek before this drone reveals this angle. So basically, if the drone is like, let's say here, that is the moment of time where you wanna just swing out, take the shots, teleport away. Or you're hiding behind this cover, waiting for the drone to be somewhere here, and then trying to kill the enemies that are behind the drone. Like, that is how you should be playing around this initiator utility. The worst thing you can do right now is just wait for the drone to tag you, and then what? Or holding an angle that the drone is clearing at that moment of time. Like, what are Diamond and Ascendant players really bad at? Like, where they suffer a lot is they don't really understand how recon abilities work in this game. Like, and a lot of the players, what they do, like the drone is gonna be flying like this, meow, you know? But the drone still didn't clear this angle. The enemy Phoenix is already gonna be here. You know, peeking together with the drone, instead of waiting the drone to clear all of these angles before he swings out. So, 80% of times, you can get that type of a timing onto the enemies and get a free pick. This is a mistake also. Yes, you just wasted 2 shots of the outlaw, but you still have headhunters. If you have headhunters with a teleport, you should go for a fight. Especially since we know that one enemy is here, we can just abuse the teleport with a peeker's advantage to just go for one dead zone shot. Every opportunity that you don't take to fuck up the enemies, safe opportunity, is a missed opportunity. Like, this is a pretty safe fight, you know. On a normal ping, if you do this, you're maybe gonna die like 1 out of 10 times, and that one time is gonna be when enemies have the operator holding you from the aim area of the map. And that's it. So you're not committing to any fights, like you're just pre-aiming the most common spot where you think the enemy body is at this moment, just going for a one tap as you're teleporting away. So basically you're pressing your left click and right click simultaneously. And that's it. So this is, you know, this whole round is just a very inefficient way of using the chamber's utility and outlawing this A short area of the map. Like, we just destroyed the drone, we didn't really get any shots onto the enemies, any damage applied, any pressure applied, like, enemies just scooted us out from the bomb site.
Smoke coming. Can you throw the side smoke? Throw the side smoke.
Listen, like, when you're playing chamber, don't lose the timing to fight with your teammates by reloading the weapons. Like, you need to behave towards the headhunter on the same level as you behave towards the operator, vandal, phantom, any other weapon. And those are the degrees onto which you need to believe in yourself when you're using the headhunters. Like here, if the enemies are already going out, I don't have time to reload. I don't have time for a 3.8 seconds reload. That's how much time it takes to reload this bullshit. So, instead of reloading this weapon for 3.8 seconds, if I see that enemies are coming out, fuck it, bro, like, I'm not gonna be chilling in this smoke whatsoever. I'm pulling that headhunter, and I'm going out and just fighting with my teammates. Like, we cannot lose this opportunity to refrag our allies. Because only your presence here is maybe enough to distract the enemies, and for your teammates to get the refrags, and for us to maybe make some numbers advantage or keep the control of this site. Especially because this is a bonus round. You know, theoretically, it doesn't really matter if you lose it or win it. You should be playing a bit more aggressively. You should be relying a bit more on a team play game because we have shit weapons overall. And we cannot be losing the timings in this way.
140 Sage.
But the main problem in this one was just the overall setup. You know, like, if you were so certain enemies are gonna go A and you wanna commit to A site, you cannot have this type of a passive setup on the A set of Haven. And how you use your teleport and outlaw in this area of the map was just far away from being efficient. Okay, let's move to the next one. So, enemies went A in the last round. Once again, in this round, yes, we should be gambling towards the C set and towards the garage. And in this round, you know, because, yeah, chances are pretty high enemies are gonna go C. Sure, we can make some C setup. Listen, if... Okay. I didn't know what you're gonna do, so yeah, this is fine. This is okay. Once again, I mean, yeah, it's okay. Like, that's fine. Ooh, the peak was not fine. Like, listen. So when you're peeking from these doors here, like, it should always be a wide swing. Like, basically, the problem is if you go for a peak like this and then like this, you might mistime the position on which enemies are playing. They're gonna see the tip of your gun, the tip of your weapon. They're gonna be much more ready for the fight than you are, and then you're gonna die. Like here, for example. So it was just way too slow. I don't know how to explain it better. Like it looks like you went like with a shift peak instead of you know, abusing the maximum like peeker's advantage. So here, let me just show you. Come to the doors here, make one footstep, pre-aim the most common positions, like where the players are going to be playing in this area of the map. Those positions are this and this most of the time, where you're going to meet the enemies. Also, when you're peeking this angle, you should be ready for a fight even here, because if the enemies are just running it down like this, they always have much better timing than you. This type of a peek is not something I would recommend you to do in the early rounds of Haven, because there's no reason to do it. You have enormous amount of very good setups in the garage, on the C site, on the B site, in the A main, in the A short, that are all far better than this shit. This shit is something you should do just to cut the pattern a bit, to apply a bit more pressure onto the enemies in the later stages of the game. Not something that you should be doing in the round number 4, that is a very important round of this half. Because if you win this round, we're going to be 3-1. We're going to be damaging... We will damage the enemy's economy quite heavily as well. And, you know, we can easily snowball the game. But if you die here, you know, where I have absolutely no info, where are the enemies right now and what are they doing? Not really the best play for these early rounds.
You will not kill my allies.
This play that you're doing here is, just remember, a complete 50-50 play. So, it can work. As I already mentioned, like, enemies don't have a hardcore sentinel, so they have no information from behind. But the problem is, like, I just have no idea how much you can trust your teammates at this moment. I don't know how fast the enemies are going to play. I don't know what the enemy's reaction is going to be. It's been only 3 rounds. You didn't gather that much information about your allies and about the enemies to go for a play like this early on in a match as well. Like, this is a complete blind play based on nothing. 50-50. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, you cannot complain.
Looks like an A rush, Brim. Brim, I'm already through mid. Rush to the back. One more.
Yep.
Two more.
Listen, like, when you go for a flank and lurk like this, feel free to maybe abuse more angles and tight angles to fight the enemies. You know, like, for example, okay, you got a kill onto this sage, very good kill. How you peek this angle was really good. You know, I would have done the same shit, and I was just about to comment on your angle clearing if it was bad, but it was not bad. Like, it was very good that you cleared this first, then we need to clear this, and then we need to swing wider. So you got a kill on the sage. Instead of, you know, instantly leaving, I don't know, you know, towards the garden, like, you could have maybe, you know, taken some kind of an angle to maybe go for a headshot, then reset yourself. We have a gecko here to play. I really hope we're gonna play with a gecko, because we should definitely be abusing this teleport to go for some wider swing and refrag our gecko. you don't need to give up so much space to the enemies. Well, yeah, this is not really the best position you could have chose to play right now.
I'm getting pinched here. Just kidding.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
I completely got nervous here. I didn't know what to do.
your Gecko made a huge mistake here. Your Meko went into a full pussy mode. And Gecko really sold this round. We could have killed the enemies easily. My dude has a flash and he can just flash the enemies above the box, go for the peek, and he is a dum-dum. But you should expect that from your teammates. Like, first thing that you should not have lost here is maybe an opportunity to take a kill, you know, onto this angle, to kill the Phoenix, or to get a pick like this. Then, you know, like, you can just skip it out, put a TP into B, try to take another kill, for an example. Or, as you're falling back from these flanks and lurks, always think like, how can I use my TP to get one more kill? If you already didn't use your teleport, for example. But if you did use your teleport, ask yourself, how can I abuse this part of the map to hold some off angles, tight angles, to potentially extend this numbers advantage? You know, you playing on a position like this is not dangerous whatsoever. Yeah, a lot of times you're not gonna get a pick here depending how the enemies pick, but why not? We can give it a try. Then we can scoot out towards the B side, or as we were repositioning here, instead of getting stuck in the box, why didn't you instantly go towards the teleport? Like, you literally had a teleport placed here, if I remember.
That's why I went to the bot. I was like stuck between two options. It was either try to fight in front of garage to TP or go to Gecko, and so I just didn't decide and went between both of them. Like, I didn't pick one.
Okay. In those type of situations, it's just better for you to make one decision rather than not making any of them. Like, whenever you're debating between two decisions that you can make, give yourself 2 seconds, and after 2 seconds, just pick one. Like, the worst thing you can do in Valorant is you die in a round by trying to make some kind, like, by deciding which play is better. You're gonna learn which play is better after the game, when you do a VOD review, when you analyze your rounds, as you improve your game knowledge, etc, etc. In a situation like this, when the enemies are already pinching you, like, you need to commit to something. Anything, basically. Like, you cannot be stuck in a position like this, where enemies can kill me from the right side, from the left side, Phoenix can flash me, enemies can reveal me, I'm dead. Either commit to fighting the enemies. Once again, we could have taken this as an off angle to kill the Phoenix and enemies dropping from the window, and then resetting towards the Gecko. This would be the option if you decide to play with the Gecko. I would probably just take this off angle, try to kill the enemies once they go through the window, then reset towards the right side, keep my location a secret, try to play with a Gecko, and that's it. But, you know, going towards the TP was also a solid play because, you know, after you teleport, you can instantly play with a Gecko again. Which also would have been an optimal play because, you know, maybe you get a kill with this teleport, you reset yourself towards the C side, and now you can play with a Gecko. A huge problem, obviously, in this one was like what your Gecko is gonna do. Like, this is why I don't like going for these flanks and lurks. Like, a lot of times you might get stuck somewhere where you need the help of your teammates to do something, or you need to pull your ass purely based on your raw aim, and both of these players are just a 50-50 gamble every time.
Gecko.
Okay, good job, teammates, I guess. Okay, enemies are playing an eco half by bonus round. Chances that enemies go mid and garden are above 80% in this round, once again. And even though they have a Phoenix ultimate, you know, their economy is not really allowing them to do a proper 5-man push on C or 5-man push on A. So the gamble that you're making is totally fine. Now, this setup I mean, it's fine, but I would kind of always want to get something more out of my teleport, you know, like some kind of an off angle, some kind of a position where I can actually fuck up the enemies later again. You know, if I already want to push mid deep, it's just better for me to put the teleport right here. And, you know, if I don't see anyone here, and enemies are only going through garden, okay, I can just scoot down and do this, for an example. Then if enemies peeking from the window, I can do this as well. Anyways, I have a trademark for the garage. I'm gonna be getting the info there, and that trademark should slow down the enemies a bit. And even if I teleport here, I can still play a really fast rotation towards the seaside and help my gecko. This teleport right here is not gonna do anything for you, because if the enemies decide to go for the C split or the garage push, you're just gonna teleport into the enemy smoke. The only thing that this TP gives you is just a slightly faster rotation towards your gecko, because you're definitely not gonna be jumping through this smoke in an anti-eco round trying to contest the enemies. That would be a suicide, and that would be absolutely stupid. Even a setup like this is not a bad idea when you want to contest the enemies aggressively on mid and you think they're gonna go mid. Like getting this early frag here, early pick, and now from this position trying to get one more kill. Just when you're using this setup, I would always recommend you to tell one of your teammates to already start in the garage and to play together with you. Like, you want to create some double tower setup like this, trying to kill the enemies from two different positions, or one guy can play here, you play above, and we're trying to destroy the enemy's recon abilities and kill the enemies moving in. So the problem with this setup is, like, your enemy is gonna get smoked off in the garage. Your trademark is not revealing the enemies if they go towards the right side. Please pay attention on these small gaps. Pretty much on a defender side of Haven, you only have 3 trademarks that you should be using 24/7, and 2 optional ones. Garage, this one. On B side, this one or this one. Depending, what did you notice that enemies are destroying with the Sova darts and utility. On A side, we use a trademark right here. And on C side, you almost always want to use a trademark on the left side. So even if the enemies smoke it off, they only have time to go left. You know, like, I don't know, Cypher uses a cage, or like Phoenix uses a wall, or Jet uses a smoke. They cannot instantly, you know, smoke of the trademark and instantly start taking the space in the garage and fucking me up on the B side or in the spawn, etc, etc. Like, they need to take a bit longer route, essentially.
A. Jet. Sova's running A.
Joke's over. You're dead.
Alting too
Okay.
short.
Okay, this is one of those games, those like 20% of games that I talk about in every VOD review, where you will have to gamble on the enemy's tendencies, basically. Like, in this match, like, it seems that enemies really have tendencies going A. I would just argue that in this round they went A because they probably forced right now, and only because of the Phoenix ultimate. I would still gamble on the enemy's economy in the next rounds. Like, if in the next round the enemies are playing an eco, once again I will start around B and around the garage, 100%. But it really depends, like, how much money enemies afforded in this round.
There's 4 of us here. We're coming, Jet. Get on side, Jet. We're here.
Okay. From your side,
We're here.
there's really nothing better you could have done. Like, that kill on the Reyna was very important. A bit misfortunate timing on this peak on the Jet, because Reyna just died as you went for the peak. Nothing better. We live to fight another day. Okay.
Play long. Are they darting long?
They forced that round. Oh, they actually had a lot of money. Oh, no, never mind. Like, I don't know, like, how people are managing economy anymore. Like, literally, how the fuck these guys have so much money? So, if this is the enemy economy you saw, and enemies have the Phoenix ultimate, expect a 5-man push somewhere. So, and in this round, yes, it was literally 50-50 that enemies are gonna go either A or C with a Phoenix ultimate. So this TP setup that you created here was actually totally fine. Because of enemy's economy and because of Phoenix with ultimate. It was totally fine.
Around the slope.
If they are, can somebody break?
Now, usually, like, you know, when the players have these AoE ultimates, such as Mix ultimate, such as Sova ultimate, Fade ultimate, Breach ultimate, most commonly, players will go onto the A site with these ultimates. But enemies already pushed A site 3 rounds in a row, so I don't really know what, you know, they're gonna do in this round. Like, this is a complete gamble, but it is an okay gamble based on the enemy's tendencies, and because A site is anyways your default site on this map, so whenever you need to gamble on A, it's okay. It's better not to lose it because A retakes are almost impossible in ranked solo queue. Okay, let's see how we're gonna play here.
Nothing A. Yeah, just leave me on the line.
Yeah, this is a fast rotation. Very good. Very good observation of the minimap.
Out C, out already. There's no comms, man.
You don't need the comms for this, like, you know? Like, you should just be observing the minimap and then what you see on your screen. For this type of shit, you don't need the comms. Like, enemies are just playing together as 5. No one is lurking. No one is flanking. If you don't see anyone in the aim-in for the first 5 seconds, in this match, you can easily pre-assume that enemies are gonna go C. You saw the dart. Your rotation was totally fine, and you know, like, you don't need to complain about the comms in these type of matches. Like, when you can just get the info based on, you know, what you see on your screen and what you hear.
I'm almost here.
Spike planted.
In this type of a 3v5 retake, one player needs to play through the garage, and that player cannot be you because you have the op. Good kill.
Guns here.
Very good. So here you need to tell either Brimstone or Reyna to clear the garage, and you should be the one.
I'm holding inside.
This is pretty dangerous what you did here. Even though you have the operator, the problem is, like, you have no idea if anyone is here. And even though you have the op, like, you're literally getting revealed. Like, with one dead zone shot, I can get you out of the server. In these lobbies, probably enemies don't have that good of a reaction time and that good of a skill and that much of a confidence to pick you. But trust me, when you start playing against, I don't know, Aspas, Heode, and other maniacs in ranked solo queue, you will be getting punished quite a lot. If you just hold this position.
Can't push, can't push.
Good. Okay.
He's still
Okay.
small.
Okay.
Wow.
From your side, you've done the best you could have in this round. Once again. Once again, like, if you think enemies are gonna go somewhere, create some kind of a setup on that site and that's it. Like, it just really makes no sense putting this teleport into the A link. Also, when you're picking the A short, this TP setup is also not a bad idea if you have a teammate holding the beam and area of the map. This is like the ultimate gamble setup that you can make. Like, as soon as the round starts, you start walking down. Short, go for a peek. Enemies are going mid or going B. You're already there. The only thing is, like, you know, you need to have a teammate that is already covering the mid, and you need to be a lot faster with this peek. But in this round, since the enemies are only focusing on A and C, and you're already, like, I don't know, at least semi-certain enemies are gonna go A in this round, put your TP on some off angle, put it on site. Like, you cannot leave the site right now. Your teammates are gonna get run down by the enemies. What? So, okay, this is better. This is better. This is not good. So what I thought you were gonna do here is, like, I thought you were just gonna go for the swing because you saw the Phoenix Molotov. Why would the Phoenix drop a Molotov if he's not gonna push here? You know that you're playing against the Phoenix. You know the guy is gonna use a flash. You need to go for the peek before he uses the flash. Or, ideally, catch him with a flash in his hands. Like, if that Phoenix missed his Molotov. He dropped a Molotov here. Okay, before he drops a flash, I'm gonna swing out, try to get a kill. Once again, I'm just gonna stay for one burst fire. And that's it. TP away and go out. Better than getting flashed and now I need to blindly shoot a few bullets and pray for the kill. If he drops a proper Molotov, which should be a Molotov deep right here. Okay, I have this teleport. I'm just gonna hide either behind this cover like this, or I'm gonna hide like this, wait for his flash, and then I'm gonna peek out. Or before his flash, I'm gonna peek out from that cover.
Here.
But we cannot be, you know, eating the utility this much. When it was already obvious, you know, what this guy is gonna do.
How short?
And you see here, like, you would have already been on, I don't know, some off angle here or here, ready to re-pick that Phoenix, get maybe a kill, instantly support your Jet in the aiming area of the map, fight with her until both of you guys die, basically, like, because you just need to do that in this situation. Now, once again, we need to remember that we're playing against the Phoenix, so our eyes need some kind of a cover. In this example on the A side, listen, this is 101 worst position that you can play on A when the enemies are going for the A execute. Getting stuck under the tower without any teleport, any reset tool, God helps you. God help you with this shit. Like, a much better play here, if you already want to figure out the way to play with this Jet, was to either hold the right side and hold the right peak from the enemies while your Jet is left and you're ready to fight with the Jet as well, or go towards the right side, clear the smoke, and maybe on timing try to surprise the enemies and try, you know, to kill that Phoenix that was in the A short or whoever the fuck is going through the smoke right here. Like, we need to play a bit more aggressively, because if you just get stuck here and at the backside, I mean, like, it's just so easy to execute a site like that, you know, like, and to kill these two guys that are playing on the site. The whole purpose of this like turtle smoke right here is to allow you to, you know, play around it, to surprise the enemies left and right, and to at least trade yourself for maybe 1 or 2 kills before the enemies take the site. And you need to do that if you already decide to commit playing on this site. If the Jet said, like, you know, see you later, and the Jet decided to leave the site, that would also be fine. In this example, it would have been totally fine to just play a retake. We have 2 teammates going from behind. You and Jet can play together. Maybe one from CT, one from tower. That would have been also fine. When you cannot defend the bomb site because you don't lack utility to defend it, or you lack manpower, or enemies have some big Chungus ultimate that can fuck you up, leave the site, play the retake. That would have been also totally fine. Of course, in this example, I would have tried playing with the Jet because I don't know what the Jet is gonna do, and your decision was okie dokie. Just getting stuck under the site is diabolical.
Can you give another side smoke?
Also, listen, when the mixed ultimate is hitting you, don't panic. You don't need to try not getting hit by this ultimate. This is the most useless ultimate in Valorant. It doesn't get more useless than this. Focus on the gunfights, focus on your screen, be ready for the fights. That's it. Also, in this example, you're playing a really good position to fight while being hit with a mixed ultimate. You know? Like, the first contact is definitely gonna happen here. Okay, I'm not gonna take the knife out, I'm not even gonna try to escape it because I don't have time to escape it. I'm just gonna stay with a Vandal, get punched by it a bit, go back onto this position and just fully focus on hitting these shots. Okay, so
Can you give another side smoke?
in both of these examples, in both fight with a Sage and with a Sova, you're making a small mistake. And that mistake is the crosshair placement. This crosshair is placed way too tight towards the angle from which enemies are peeking you right now. Like, you need, like, in this example right here, your crosshair needs to be somewhere here, basically. So, first reason is very simple. You know, the furthest angle from which enemies can peek you through this smoke is this one. Like this. Essentially. So, I'm already holding the furthest peek through the smoke. That can happen. Where I can see the enemy's gun pointing out, etc, etc. But, also, if the enemies get out of this smoke, very rarely you're gonna see someone going for a jiggle peek here. You know? Most of the players panic a lot during the executes, and they just are kind of running it down and swinging wider, much wider. So you're practically trying to catch that the widest movement from the enemies with your crosshair placement. So if I'm playing a position like this, my crosshair should be somewhere here. And no matter how the enemies peek me, they cannot pass my crosshair without getting one-tapped in the head. And if they stop on any of these lines on the right side, those are very easy micro corrections, and you're trying to catch the enemies that are already in the stopped motion. You know, like the hardest thing to do in FPS games such as Counter-Strike and Valorant is anticipating enemies' movement and catching the enemy's movement when they're peeking you. And when you don't have a good crosshair placement for it. Like here, for example. You know. Like when this Sova swings, I just don't know like how far he's gonna swing. And where do I need to intercept his movement with my crosshair to kill him. And I have a huge margin of error to overshoot or undershoot during this type of a fight. But if your crosshair is, let's say, here, where based on your reaction time, you can catch any wide swing towards the left side, the only thing that you need to be focused on is hitting this shot or doing micro corrections on the right side, a very small micro corrections, to kill a guy that already stopped at that moment of time. And killing a guy that already stopped is much easier than killing a guy that is running like this maniac right here.
Side smoke?
Like, the only reason why you won this fight is because, I don't know, this Sova speak was diabolical, like, my guy, I don't know where he was looking at this moment of time and what he was actually clearing, but yeah. And the reason why we struggle in this Sage fight, especially when the enemies go, for the first time, go for the jiggle peek, and you know that they might be engaging you in the second time, your crosshair needs to be a bit wider from the wall, like somewhere here, essentially. It cannot be that close.
Front side, default.
But okay, we got refragged. I mean, in ranked solo queue, every time when you get refragged by your teammates, or you refrag your teammates, that's fine, you know. As long as you fight together, you try to support your allies, and even if you die, but we make a numbers advantage or close the round, that's all good. Okay, this is a pretty standard, you know, chamber setup. In this round, playing on C side, I guess it's a good idea because of the pattern that enemies developed in the previous 3 rounds, and also because of rule of fear. You know, like, we just punish the enemies push on A, stop them completely. Enemies are probably gonna have a bit less confidence to go A. The last time when they pushed C, it was quite an easy push for them. They practically took a site for free, and they know that Gecko is the only player defending a C site. And based on that information, okay, playing on C is fine. What is not fine is why are we not buying in this round? Once again, this is a live VOD review, so you can talk.
Honestly, I'm sitting here thinking. I'm like, I don't even know why I didn't buy. I don't know if I requested and didn't get it. I don't know. I mean, know why I didn't buy.
The problem here is, like, you cannot be saving money for the operator in this round. Like, this round is very important to win.
That might have been what I was doing. Yeah, that's the only thing I think of.
Because this is another round where we can easily build up the momentum to potentially snowball this half. If we win this round, the next round, enemy's economy is going to be completely broken, and we might gain a momentum to win this match. Plus, 4 of your teammates are buying. They're literally buying. We have the Brimstone ultimate as well to win this round. So it's a bit of a gamble, like, just, you know, playing headhunters in this round where you know, I don't know. Like, I personally, at this skill level, I would not recommend you to do this shit. If this was like Immortal 3, I would say it's fine. Immortal 3 Radiant. But at this skill level, risking a full buy round because you want to get the operator in the next round, but if you lose this round then your teammates cannot buy in the next round, is kind of stupid. If you get my point there, like, so yeah. What you should be buying in this round is a Light Shield Vandal, Light Shield Vandal or Light Shield Phantom, and this play that you're doing is very good. I have no objections whatsoever. But usually when you're doing this play, what you want to do is, okay, so basically how you should do it. Okay, you can put the teleport up here. And generally speaking, you want to get onto this angle and then just hold it. And that's it. But of course, based on the info that you're getting on the minimap, based on the sound, you can decide whether you want to overextend a bit, try to catch enemies off guard even more, or do you want to keep holding that position and just focusing on hitting this shot and then getting away. So, and also, what I would recommend you here, so you make one silent step like this. So, one silent step. And then if you hear the enemies, crouch and instantly ADS. Like, you always want to ADS in this type of fights with a headhunter when you're just holding the enemies, because your bullet is, you know, this is the most this is as precise as a bullet in Valorant can go, beside the Vandal, of course, beside the Guardian as well, of course. You want to crouch down on this position to additionally fuck up the enemy's crosshair placement for all of these angles behind you, and yeah, pretty much. That's it, like, those are the only corrections I would do. If the enemies go for a jump spot, you know, try to hit one shot, teleport away, reset yourself, and that's it.
Can you break? Molly.
Whenever you teleport, instantly reset your teleport and pick it up with yourself so that enemies cannot destroy it. If they destroy it, you don't have it anymore.
Molly, throw the Molly, throw the
Please fix that trademark in the garage, enemies can pass it.
Molly.
Never rely on your teammates to destroy the recon abilities. Especially if you didn't emphasize at the start of the round that they should be destroying that utility. It is impossible to expect from your random teammates that they're gonna react on this comm that fast. Like, literally impossible. If you told this Gecko here, if enemies go C, Gecko destroy the Sova Dart and Sova Drone. Okay? Then you gave that player a task beforehand, and the only task that he should be thinking about. Here, there's no fucking way. Like, you need to be the one destroying this dart. Since you compromise your position and enemies have the Phoenix, with the flash and wall and all of these abilities, you cannot play on this off angle anymore, because the guy can just easily pick you apart and he knows exactly your location. I need to reposition towards the site, and on timing peek the enemies as they're moving in and fight with my Gecko. Okay. Okay, once again, you've done the best you could have with the weapons that you have, but I just don't understand in this round, like, why are we even playing with a Headhunter? Like, chances that enemies go C are very high. My teammates are full buying and in a round like this, we cannot be saving money for the operator, like in Diamond, Ascendant, low Immortal lobbies. Subs, well stream, do not like you, good night, and Shrafty, welcome.
See.
So in this type of fight, you always want to ADS. Also, it's much easier to micro-correct onto the enemy's head.
50 jet.
Then here, when you teleported,
Molly, throw the
you should have instantly picked up the teleport.
Throw the Molly.
As soon as you broke this shit right here, or you saw that this guy is not gonna break it, you should jump towards the site, reset yourself, and play with the Gecko from the backside, because you cannot be playing in this area of the map, or maybe get into the enemy smoking garage and leave the site. Fuck it. And it was a bit of a miracle that we even got a kill onto this Jet, because she literally had the info exactly where you are, and I don't know how she didn't kill you. And it was a bit unlucky that, you know, we got sprayed by a fully blinded mix that is running away. You see here. Once again, you don't have operator. You have nothing. Your teammates are saving. Why the fuck did I save in the last round? Like, there's no reason to do it. Samuel, extreme, man.
I'm gonna trip B. Jet, can you break this over?
No, in this round, you know, what should you be buying with the chamber? Okay, you want to get the operator in the next round, but you definitely value the headhunters over the heavy shield, because the headhunters are the ones that can give you the kills here, not the heavy shield. So if I was to buy something here, okay, let's get a light, let's get 8 headhunters, let's get the trademark. That is around 1200 credits invested, and in the next round I'm gonna have 5600 credits to get the op, to get a trademark, and get the light shield again. Anyways, with the op you really don't need to prioritize heavy shield that much, because anyways you're going for one shots, you're not committing to the fights that much, and yada yada yada. But in this round, like, having, you know, 8 headhunters is very valuable. Like, I mean, that's your only tool to get the kills right now. Playing on the aces right now is very good. As soon as you notice in the middle of the match that enemies develop this AB pattern, rule of fear, rule of 3 executes, and they break their tendencies, or they push based on economy and based on the standard rules that we have to read the enemies, instantly just follow those rules, don't overthink it too much. Now, in this round we also have one info, that is the Jet's ultimate. If the Jet uses the ultimate and you're playing A long, just pre-aim this position up here, and 90% of times these players, you know, in Diamond and Ascendant, like to go for this type of a peek. That should be a free kill for you, and then I can go for another kill with a teleport. Okay, she's not gonna use the ult.
Jet smoke, they're out.
Okay, so what's the problem here? Like, once again, you don't have an idea of what you wanna do before this round even happened. Like, I just don't see your plan, because, you know, there's only 3 plans you can have here. Only 3, and you can tell me, like, what was your plan if you remember. The first plan is like me holding this tight angle, trying to hit the first shot there, or the shot through the smoke. Then I'm waiting for the enemies to overswing and overpeak. Then from the closer wall, I'm going for a fast crouch shot. That's the first plan we can have. Second plan we can have is playing, as soon as the round starts, dropping onto this off angle and trying to get a shot right here or here. And I should, you know, when you're going for this play, you should instantly just jump out and get on a position like this. And the third plan is like, as soon as the round starts, I jump here, take this cover, and then I'm on timing using the teleport to surprise the enemies, peek out, and go for a shot. What was your plan?
And that's where you can see, like, I kind of did. My initial plan was plan 1. Like, I wanted to peek. Once I seen the Jet smoke, I hold the left side. No one peeked, so then I thought, okay, I'm gonna go plan 2 and hold the right side and see if she walked out on the right. So I went between both plans.
Yeah,
no one instantly peeked.
A lot of times you're not gonna have a timing for the plan 2 if you go for the plan 1, like where you hold a tight angle and try to get a shot, you know, like here, because that Jet can already pass on the right side, and then you're just, you know, like, every moderately okay player should be ready for this type of a fight when he ends up in this position. That's the only angle that you need to clear, basically. And I generally stay away unless I'm playing the operator, holding a position like this. It's much better if you just stay silent, let the enemies, you know, wonder where you are, or based on the recon abilities, you can swing out and just go for a shot.
Jet smoke, they're out.
Also, when you're going for these type of picks, with the one-tap weapons, such as Guardian, Headhunter, Marshal, Outlaw, Operator. What you really want to practice in a custom server and in a team deathmatch and in the ranked games that you play is as you're going for a shot, your finger is already hovering over the teleport button. Like you really want to be hitting these type of timings where literally as the bullet is going out of your chamber, you're already teleporting away. Like you're not committing to these fights whatsoever. Operator. I want to kill this jet there. That's how fast it should look like. And that's how fast it should be. Now once again, you know, when you're playing on a high ping, you're going to be dying quite a lot because of this shit. So don't play on a high ping. But on a normal ping in an Ascendant Immortal lobby, you should not be dying 1 out of 10 times if you master a bit faster reaction onto that teleport.
50. Oh, wow.
Get out of my way.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Actually, you know, right now we're playing around number 10. Already at around the round number 8, 9, you should have some kind of a plan. How do you want to play the rest of that match based on what enemies did thus far? So, what do we know about the enemies so far? We know that Sova usually uses a drone in A short. My guy doesn't dart A long. And my guy uses this diabolical dart on C set as well. So I know where to expect the Sova darts and which angles I can potentially abuse to fuck up the enemies based on that utility user. So maybe the next time I think enemies are gonna go A, instead of playing a passive setup here, maybe I can make an aggressive one with a teleport here and potentially try to completely surprise that enemy jet and kill her as she is scaling up through that early smoke in the A main area of the map. For an example, Jet is always using a smoke right here, so if I get the op, I'm probably not gonna go for any shots or hold a tight angle. I will mainly try to kill the Jet going from the right side or taking a kill here, for an example. We know that enemies are jump spotting the C long, which means that the next time we play C, we should be holding for a jump spot, especially if you get the operator. We should be holding somewhere right here, catching that jump spot peak. We also know that enemies just play together as 5. Like, there's not a single flank lurk whatsoever, and I'm gonna be gambling on that info as long as it is true. So, once again, you know, in some eco rounds, halberd rounds, if you feel like it, we can try to go for some kind of a flank lurk or double flank and double lurk, which works really well in ranked solo queue. You know, one plan that you could have created in this match is maybe you can start with a Brimstone around the B site and instantly tell the Brimstone, brother, let's take the mid together. You push from... I'll push from the left, you hold me the window, and no matter where the enemies end up, let's go for the double flank and double lurk. And when you go for such a fast double flanks and double lurks, you're not risking it too much. Because you're not losing any timing to support your teammates, and you're really, really fast behind the enemies on both A long and C long as well. Also, one player should completely keep his location a secret, and the first player should be committing to the fights until he dies. Because usually what players don't expect in ranked solo queue is like 2 players going for such a fast flanks and lurks. Phoenix last time used their ultimate on A site, but, you know, I would not really value the Phoenix ultimate over the fact that enemies went for the A, B, C, D, E, F, G pattern in the last 5 rounds. So your idea to play on the C site, muy bien. But now that you go to the op, we really want to abuse that op to get a kill onto these jump spotting motherfuckers. Like right here. Like this is the shot I would try to hit. That's the first angle I would hold. Then we can try to get a kill here. And then from this position, which is, you know, the ultimate positioning, repositioning pattern of
Gecko, yeah, Gecko,
of chamber on C side.
garage.
Listen, even if you have a teleport, like, if on the bomb site you can abuse some tight angle, some safe off angle to get a kill without a teleport, is better. Because you're practically using 3 peaks, 3 shots to get 3 kills, instead of 2 shots to get 2 kills. You know, like, this angle right here, like, as long as you don't commit to it, like you're playing like this, towards the drop, you're holding for a jump spot or for the swing, and you do this, you don't need a teleport for this. Like, you're not gonna die. When you drop down, then you can decide, do you want to go for an instant swing here, based on the info, or you want to jump up, and now go for a second peek. And you will have the time to go for the third peek as well, from this off angle, or we can hold it like this, depends on the enemy's utility usage and, you know, how many kills you already got in the C-long area of the map. Then I can use this as a fourth angle, maybe, you know?
Yeah.
So
my thought process here originally was I thought Sova would drone C, so I wanted to beat the drone.
But did you see the drone from the Sova in the previous rounds?
I haven't. No, I didn't.
Exactly. Like, you just need to play based, like, every match you want to play, like, yes, you want to start the games with a pre-assumption that enemies are gonna do the most optimal things at that moment of time for that agent. Like, I would start a match with a pre-assumption that Sova is gonna use a drone in C-long, which every normal Sova should do, basically. But if I see for 1 or 2 times that Sova is not using a drone to, during a 5-man push on C, that he's not using a dart for the A-long, I would just pre-assume that that Sova is dumb, and I'm just gonna gamble on the fact that he is not using that piece of utility in that way. And I'm gonna adapt to it. Plus, you saw the Sova arrow in the garage. Okay, I mean, like, you didn't see it immediately.
In garage.
Oh, in garage.
Missed, I missed.
Ooh, this peak was, like, listen, whenever you lose information in some area of the map for more than 2 or 3 seconds, you need to behave towards that area of the map like the enemies will be there and can be there. This applies to everything. Every lurk, every rotation, every fight that you take. You lose info somewhere for 2 or 3 seconds, and you don't know where's the rest of the enemy team. You're expecting the enemies to be on that specific position. So here, for example, we're either pre-aiming this position and being ready for this fight, or you can jump spot and then go for a wider swing with a teleport to get deeper angles and potential kill into someone that is C-long.
In garage.
Oh, in garage.
Missed, I missed.
But we cannot swing from this angle while being exposed from this position while we're still reloading this 1 bullet into the chamber. Anyways, because of the mix, you know, like, smoke, you wouldn't have the timing to even go for a peek, but whatever. I want you to
There's two.
always think in a way where, like, I lost info on some angle for 2 or 3 seconds. I need to behave towards that angle like I need to re-clear it again. Like, the enemies will be there, can be there. And once again, a question like, why is the teleport on the ground? like on the C side, pretty much, you either place a teleport here, place a teleport here, place a teleport here, or place a teleport here. And all 4 of these teleport positions have a different purpose. Like, either to give you some off angle, to allow you to push something, to peek something, to play fast rotations, etc, etc. TP at the backside is just an absolute waste. Like, the only times, but not even then, like, I want to say the only time when this is good is if you want to play this angle, and from this angle surprise the enemies, but even then, like, you know, this teleport is far superior, because you can still go for this type of a peek and teleport safely.
Reloading.
in a situation like this, if you lose the exact information about the enemies, don't go for the slow peek with the operator, especially if you have a numbers advantage and teleport. Fuck it. Jump spot the enemies, get the info, and then go for the fast crouch peek and delete those enemies. Also, this angle is pretty dangerous to hold because you're in a huge angle perception disadvantage. And if an enemy is here, for an example, he can actually see the tip of your barrel, and he knows he's just ready for that fight. Thankfully, in this round, enemies have sheriffs and shit weapons, so probably you're not gonna die and they're not gonna one-tap you, but yeah.
All three.
One enemy remaining.
Okay. Good shit. And another thing that we learned about the enemies is that they're also following another common pattern in ranked solo queue. As soon as they're met with some kind of a force somewhere, they instantly go for a rotation to opposite part of the map. So, as soon as the next time we get maybe one kill somewhere and we stop the enemies, we can pull the knife out and start rotating towards the opposite part of the map. This round, you should definitely be playing on the A site. Like, enemies are consistently using the AC pattern for the last, what, 6 rounds almost? 5 rounds. No reason to believe that they're gonna change this shit.
So in this round, I think I was talking to Gecko. He kind of wanted to play more towards like the stack side. So then we had no one C. So then I just started. I think I anchored C for the rest of the half.
You don't give a shit what your team is telling you to do. Simple as that. Simple as that. Until you reach Immortal 3 and Radiant. In Immortal 3 and Radiant, I am willing to listen to my teammates more because there's higher chances that I'm playing with the teammates that are better, that are good, that maybe they're better even than me, you know, like in some kind of a way on some of these parts of the map. So I can trust them a lot more. But at the Diamond 3 Ascendant 1 skill level, especially now that I felt how North American players play, I will not trust these guys with anything, to be honest. If I think it's gonna be the A push, leave the C site open, who the fuck cares about it, put the trademark in the garage, defend the A site, and play the retake on C. Anyways, retaking C site is 20% easier rather than retaking A site. Every time we're on the C retake, we either won it, or it was really close. Every time we were on the A retake, we just lost the round. Why? Because it's just really fucking hard to retake that bomb site. One of the hardest sites to be retaked in ranked solo queue. So, if you need to gamble more, and you have a good info, you have a very good read onto the game and what's happening, fuck it. You know, also we're trying to be more unpredictable at the end of the day. Why not? You know, the whole point of Valorant is like strategizing, you know, and like figuring out the ways how we can fuck up the enemies and make that advantage and convert the rounds. Like, this is one way how we can do that. Plus, even if the enemies end up on C, we have the Gecko's ultimate to amplify our chances of winning that C retake. Also, another inefficient way of using the Chambers teleport. Like, if you, another setup you can do is you can teleport here, and you can do this for an example. Like, that is a bit better than starting up here immediately. You can go for a shot like this, then TP. Oh, by the way, you can put this teleport even further. Like, I just am really bad with this shit right now, but you can practice this in a custom server. You can go far left. You play a far right off angle here. As soon as the enemy swing you or peek you or something like that, you go for a shot, TP away, go for another shot, drop down, that's it. And most of the time, it's like, there is no reason for you to start on this position. Like, use this as a first spot. Like, you can always use this as a secondary, third position or something like that. And with a teleport up here, you can pretty much fight anywhere and take any angles to surprise the enemies and potentially kill them. Also, if you decide to play up here, save your teleport. You don't need a teleport for a position like this. As long as you're pathing towards the edge of this spot, and you learn how to path towards the edge, the far edge, as soon as you go for a shot, once again, your chances of dying are below 10%. If you master this mechanic where instantly after the shot you're pulling the knife in the hands, looking downwards, and dropping from that position. And then you have a teleport for some, I don't know, secondary, third, fourth fight.
Joke's over. You're dead.
Where's that? Gecko, rotate, rotate. That's it. Go, Gecko, go.
So, the moral of the story is, it is totally fine to stack a bomb site if enemies are already mega giga readable and they are not really changing their patterns whatsoever and they're way too linear when it comes to playing on the attacker's side. How much aim training per day is optimal? But you should have like around 15 to 20 minutes of warm-up and around like at least 30 minutes of some aim training that is focusing on your problems, core problems. And that's enough for, like, I would say 90% of players.
We have Gecko. Everyone chill. Everybody chill.
Especially, listen, especially when playing Chamber, Jet, and Operator on a defender's side. Your main goal that you need to achieve is you want to be the first contact with the enemies. Whatever that contact is going to happen. Because if you're playing the retakes, you're not going to have that much fun.
Come on, come on.
Okay, now we should. On this type of retakes, you should always trade Operator for the automatic weapon. You never want to rely on one shot to take those kills. Take the Phantom from the ground, right here, and basically just be ready to refrag your Gecko. Because the main mistake players do during these retakes is like, you're just acting as some kind of a support with the Operator, and you're not able to support your teammates on every single angle on which they're going to be picking the fights at that moment of time. You know, this kill that you get here doesn't matter at all if your Gecko is going to die from two enemies on the right side. We know that Sova is long, we know that one guy is under the site, we don't know any information about the remaining two enemies. It would be much better if you just stick to the ass of this guy, and maybe either try to refrag him, or save his life. You know, let's try to kill these two enemies by nobody dying in our team.
Last player standing.
Okay, so what you should be doing in this round, because we're very close to the ultimate, and anyways, the next round is the last round of a defender's side. Your goal is just to get as many exit kills as possible. So the best option here from your side would be to get a Phantom and go all the way behind the enemies in the aiming area of the map and try to kill at least 3 enemies while they're running away from the spike. Why is this the best option? First of all, clutching this round is almost impossible, especially with a Sage Revive. Like your chance of winning this round is like below 2%, essentially. Like, enemies need to make enormous amount of mistakes. It is much better if you focus yourself on winning the next round by damaging the enemy's economy as much as you can, and by building your ultimate, essentially. Okay. Well, Okay, fine, whatever. At least we have the ultimate, if nothing else. I don't know. In this round, I would probably play C, only because of the pattern that enemies developed. But you know, it's a bit different. Like being in the game and watching the game. You know, if you felt here that enemies are gonna go A, I don't know, like, just based on the patterns, it looks like a C push. But, you know, what you should also track is where did the enemies most commonly use their ultimates the last time. Like, players are mega repetitive with their ultimate usage in the games. Like, they just have a very narrow mindset where you know, a lot of players like, I don't know, I have a mixed ultimate. I think mixed ultimate is the best on the A set. I want to go A. I have the Phoenix ultimate. I want to run it down through A short. So they developed some of these patterns that they really like to stick with, and these type of, you know, shallow strategies. So here, only because of the mixed ultimate, it's okay that you're positioning yourself on the A set, because the last time mixed had the ultimate, they did go A. But yeah, this is way too passive. Now, this round, you know, you need to play based on timings, because you're working with a limited amount of information. 8 seconds of the round passed. We didn't see a single enemy in the aiming area of the map, not even a smoke from the jet. I would already rotate away from the site instantly. Enemies only play together as 5. I'm lacking information in the C long. My Gecko is playing super passively. I cannot be gambling right now on the A site when I already have a jet holding this long corridor and this line of sight in A long, while my Gecko is doing, I don't know what the fuck he's doing at this moment of time. So right now I would instantly pivot towards the B site and just play fast rotations left and right. Purely based on the fact that 8 seconds of the round passed, every round enemies played fast and together as 5, and for 8 seconds I didn't see anyone in this area of the map. So you should have started rotation like 5 seconds ago. And you probably would have had a timing to be in a better position to fight enemies on B. You should try to get out from here. Even if Molly tags you a bit for like, I don't know, 10 damage, 20 damage, fuck it. You know, like, you really want to get this line of sight with the Brimstone. And anyways, like, one rule that you follow in ranked solo queue, you never want to sit inside of these smokes before you're ready to peek out, or sit in a line of sight where the enemies might spam you and kill you. Like, if I already want to sit in this smoke, I'm gonna sit somewhere here and be ready to swing out on the Brimmies contact.
Careful C. Garage pivot.
This is a fast rotation from you. You should be going towards the Reyna, and
Reyna, pick it up and jump.
like, why this game is so simple is because every information that enemies were feeding you with is where the enemies ended up, and, you know, what they did at that moment of time. So one pivot I would make here is that instead of playing on the right side, I would just play on the left side, so that I'm ready to support the Reyna a bit faster and have a bit faster timing on the enemies in the garage, but I can still support my Brimstone by, you know, holding bottom mid.
I have this Phoenix or Brim.
The only problem in this round is gonna be the jet. Like, we lost a lot of info on the A site, and this position is horrible to be played when you're playing alone on the A site.
Yeah, Brim, help Brim.
You would have gotten that kill regardless of the fact if you played left or right.
One enemy remaining. Spike down, C.
No reason to over-aggress. Okay, very good. Whenever your teleport resets, use the teleport for the next fight. Always improvise, put a TP here, swing the Sage, get a kill.
She's close, in between.
You definitely should have used the teleport there, because now...
Last player standing.
God help me. Now you would have the teleport, and she would have absolutely no idea where did you teleport, even if you miss a shot. Okay, we can hold this angle. Okay, that was a good tracking, not gonna lie. But it would be much better if we saw you use a teleport, you know, like... with the chamber, you can basically make only one mistake. When it comes to utility usage. I mean, one biggest mistake. Not using a teleport for the first fight, or for the fight that is about to happen. You know, every time when you die without using a teleport, you could have done something better. Same as with the jet, like, every time you die and you didn't use your dash ability, you could have done something better, which is using a dash ability for that fight. So you should always have a second chance to recorrect yourself and to win a second fight. Okay. Tough, you know. Enemies were way too boring in this match to actually tell, like, what might be your biggest problems on a defender side. But as I said, like I already at the start of this VOD review had some kind of an idea what type of training can help you based on the tracker and based on the stuff that you told me in the Discord server forum. Now on the attacker side, same as on defense, pretty much you want to have the same mentality, same thought process, and some kind of a plan that you can follow from the round number 1. So, for the first 4 rounds, we always have some rules that are set in stone in ranked solo queue, and you should not be, you know, avoiding these rules. The first 4 rounds, you always want to play together as 5, and organize your team as to do some 5-man executes or splits or whatever, based on the enemy team composition and the map that you're playing. On Haven, whenever enemies are eco halberd bonus, you really want to avoid this part of the map. I never want to see you here. You should either go C long or A long. Then, shut the fuck, Chamber, just a second. So, then
30 seconds left.
the next rule we have specifically for Haven, still your default site, number 1 priority is A site, number 2 priority is C site, number 3 priority B site. You generally want to touch the garage and the B site if your 5-man pushes on A and C are not working, or if the fakes on A and C are not working for you. What do you decide to push first and abuse first on this map depends on the enemy team comp. If enemies have 1 or more hardcore sentinels, 5-man push on A 3 rounds in a row. And then in a 4th round, we fake C go A or fake A go C. If enemies have 0 hardcore sentinels, so what is a hardcore sentinel? Everything except Veto and the Chamber. You can do a 5-man push on C 3 rounds in a row, and then in a 4th round, fake C go A or fake A go C. In this match, they only have Sage as a sentinel. Usually Sage is gonna play around the B site and garage in the 1st round. So, against the Sage, you can do a 5-man push on C. It's okay. She's probably not gonna have a slow orbs or the wall on C to stop her delay or push in the 1st round. But the most optimal choice would obviously be pushing the A site together as 5. This is also a, you know, just by looking how we are starting this round, I can see that it's gonna be interesting. Jet is peeking window alone. I have 3 teammates in garden, and you are starting towards the A long. Like, if you play the first rounds like this, you are gambling a lot, and you cannot complain if you lose the first rounds by playing this type of Valorant. As a sentinel, you cannot lurk, you cannot flank in the first 4 rounds. In the first 4 rounds, you're just measuring the dick size between your team and the enemy team and testing how well the enemies are actually defending the bomb sites. Because the biggest problems players have in ranked solo queue, in the lobbies below Immortal, is players have absolutely zero clue how to abuse the angles, off angles, in the most efficient way, how to actually stop the executes, how much they should fight. A lot of the players overfight, especially in the first round. You know, they think they can stop a 5-man push alone with a pistol. You can make a numbers advantage there, open the site, essentially. We also have a very good team composition, decent team composition, to do a 5-man execute on both A and C. Not that many problems. You know, we still have a Gecko Flash as some form of recon tool and ability to F up the enemies. So there's no reason to play the first round towards mid or to play it in this way. Especially not towards the mid and garage, where Sage is probably gonna deploy her wall at the start of the round. Also, when it comes to the trademark, pretty much you have only 2 trademarks on Haven. Like, the first one goes here. The second one goes here. So basically, this trademark right here, you use whenever you're doing a 5-man push on C, or some kind of a C split, essentially. And this one here you use when you do a 5-man push onto the A site. And optionally, you can drop a trademark deeper towards the C long and A long, if those are the 2 areas of the map, the only 2 areas of the map where you have like 0 players starting there, and then we're not even gonna touch that part of the map whatsoever. Oh yeah, Sorry, chat. You just got robbed. Yeah. Wait. How do you know? How do you know on the TikTok if I'm zoomed or not, bro? What the fuck? This is just too much gambling, man. Too much gambling, like how you start and how you play this round. Like, you just can't do this in the first round because no matter how well your team has played on defender side, when the side switch, like, you just don't know what type of gorillas you're dealing with at that moment. Like, on the half, everything that you learned from the beginning of the match ceased to exist, and it's like you're starting a completely new game with the same mentality and same way of thinking. Also, when you're going for this peak in A-long, like, generally speaking, if you want to do this aggression, you should be putting a teleport towards the right side here, so that you have a chance to maybe overextend a bit and to maybe, you know, surprise the enemies a bit deeper, if you want to do that, to lurk up a bit deeper. And when you're doing this peak, like, I would just generally recommend you to do it a bit wider. Maybe try to do it from top of the box. When you're swinging here, like, you can go for a scope-in peak, like this, onto this angle. But once you clear that angle, I would always jump up on the box or swing a bit wider to see all the way until this position. And since we have a teleport, I mean, you have enormous amount of safety to just get the fuck away. In the first round, same as on defense, I personally prefer Bandit. I think Bandit is goated, especially on the attacker side, because you just have more bullets to spam the enemies through the smokes, through the objects, to play the post plant, to play this, to play that. Like, you're not relying only on 6 shots to get the kills. Going B in the first round is such a criminal 50-50 move on Haven. Like, just the whole problem is B executes are mega giga inconsistent in ranked solo queue, and there is almost nothing that you can do to make them more consistent. And they're always 50-50 because there's like 3 choke points, 3 positions where your teammates can die. You cannot contribute and fight for all of these 3 positions, and a lot of times you cannot control what your teammates might do, overextend or something like that. If your teammates give you this idea in the first round, you should be like, no, man, listen, bro, listen. Brother, I got coached, you know? Like, we're not gonna go B in the first round, thank you very much. You have 3 options. Let's do a C split, C push, A push. Tell me what you wanna do. Period. Sending it B in the first round is the most risky 50-50 move you can do on Haven. Also, you know, think about the map design for a second. Like, the map is still quite ginormous on a defender side. Like, rotation from A to C or from C to A takes quite some time, you know? Like, why would I be pushing in the middle of the map where the enemies can be there in a matter of 3 seconds when I can just push the opposite parts of the map? On Lotus as well. Lotus in the first round going B. Absolute nonsense. Pretty much there's nothing better you could have done. The only better thing that you could have done, if your teammates already gave you the call out they're gonna go B, you need to play with them. First round, no solo picks, no VCT plays, no pro plays, nothing. Even those Radiant players that are going for a fucking peak in A-long of fucking Lotus are mentally disabled. Like, there is no reason to do that, especially when the enemies have a weak team composition to defend C-set, for an example. Just play with your team. Your Jet wanna swing the window, be ready for a window swing. You're playing against the Phoenix. Most common play Phoenix players are gonna do is drop a flash through the doors. Play the anti-flash system, wait for the flash, scale up with your teammates, play with them, drop a TP. here or here, scale out, get this position with a teleport, be ready to fight with your most aggressive teammates in the first round. Like in the first round, you just have the highest chance of winning those rounds if you're playing together as 5. And we're just abusing the raw fact that we all play semi-automatic weapons. Enemies cannot spray us down. Enemies have a very limited utility compared to the players on the attacker side. I mean, you know, what can a Phoenix get? Like a Molotov and 2 flashes. Like, what Sage, you know, needs to choose between 2 slorps and a wall. She cannot have all 3 of these abilities. You know, like they're have a very limited amount of tools to use to stop or delay your executes. In this round, going garage or going B is okay idea. You know, you're playing an eco round. In these eco rounds, usually the best idea is to take the garage control, and then from the garage control try to pivot around. Because with the garage control you already put enormous amount of pressure onto the enemies, and they will naturally have to over-rotate a bit more towards the B side and C side. Then you can maybe reset around, go A, or maybe if we get the kills we can just send it onto C. Or we can do a 5-man push on B again. If you already did it in the first round, let's do it in this round as well. Like, it's a bit more unpredictable, and anyways, we have shit weapons.
I think that's an outlaw.
My guy shoots on the attacker side. On defense, no. Okay. Yeah, that was pretty good.
I think that's an outlaw.
I love that you were ready for this. You know, like, but you're kind of inconsistent when it comes to, you know, anticipation of enemies a bit. Like, sometimes you're ready, sometimes you're not ready. So I just want you to be always ready. That when you lose an info on some angle, that enemies can be anywhere and everywhere. Here, there's really nothing to think about. If enemies overpeak like this, you get these 2 kills. We're just running down A and finishing the round on A, no matter what.
Both duels. Run A. Go A. 2 guns, we go A.
But we should still be expecting a potential 3rd enemy on the A side, because there's definitely going to be at least 1 or 2 enemies on A right now.
Rotating. They're going to be here. Smoking here. Already outside. Backside. We hit.
Okay. Fuck the outlaw here. You really need to fight with either classic pistol or headhunters.
Together.
We're playing close range fights. No reason to...
Go here. Jump out. 3, 2, 1.
Oh. Okay. Two mistakes here. 3 mistakes. Mistake number 1. You really don't want to fight with the outlaw here and try to go for the quick scopes when you have only 100 HP and enemies might have Spectre, Stingers and bullshit like that. Headhunter or classic pistol, that's it, especially because you're fighting with your teammates. Mistake number 2, while you were chilling inside of this smoke, you never want to chill inside of the smokes in positions that are most commonly spammed. You know, if enemies are about to spam something here, they will either spam this or spam this. Very rarely, they're gonna shoot in the middle of the smoke. So, chill here and hold the smoke. Mistake number 3, if you're getting out of the smoke here, you're forced to clear this angle. Like, you're forced to do this and then flick right. Like, we cannot overlook this position. Okay, yeah, we cannot overlook that position. And, you know, if I already think that an enemy is in this position, I would just clear this spot with a classic, pull out the headhunter and fight with my jet. Or, I mean, even with the headhunter, this would be totally fine and then swinging out. But dying like this is just nonsense. Once again, you lost info.
Rotating. They're gonna be here.
Actually, you don't have any info on the site. You don't know where are the enemies. You don't know what enemies are doing. Like, you don't know if there's already 1 enemy on the site. Like, just expect them to be everywhere and anywhere. But another thing here is, like, we actually didn't need to fight at all. We already planted the spike with the geckos. Geckos like wingmen. Here we can just dip out and play 5v3 from short and long. That was also an option here. We don't really need to fight around this smoke. And Angelica Sun, welcome.
Careful here.
Thank you. Thank you.
3, 2, 1. Left.
Okay.
Close left.
Oh, what? God.
That's not.
Those type of rounds, you really need to convert, man. Like, after getting those 2 kills, we really don't want to be losing the fights on these type of diabolical mistakes, you know? Like, just, this is what I said, like, that you're kind of inconsistent with gunfights anticipation and where to anticipate the enemies, because sometimes you're hyper aware, then there's some other times where you're just like, I don't know, like just like enemies cannot be there apparently, like, or something like that. Did you play in Apex as well? No, I never played in Apex. In Apex I have a really shit ping. Like on Apex I don't have a single server where I can like but I did coach an enormous amount of Apex players, and I know that lobbies are interesting. Now, in this round, enemies are eco hull by bonus, my friend. But do we really need to pick a window alone, man? Do you really need to go for solo plays in a round where you already have an advantage? First of all, in a round like this on Haven, you don't want to touch garage and B site and A short without recon abilities. Just go long, just go A. Probably the best option right now would be to do like a fireman push on C, but whatever. Like, we can also go A. Second thing is, when you start playing like this, so early on in a match, like going for these solo plays, it becomes way too easy to anticipate you later in a game where maybe you're gonna have to pull the rounds out of your ass. You know? That's why it's better to rely on the team play in these 5-man executes and not showcasing this lurky playstyle early on, so that you can use it later to surprise the enemies and pull the rounds out of your ass, essentially, if the 5-man executes are not working. But if the 5-man executes are working, you don't need to do anything, essentially. We can just continue doing 5-man push here, 5-man push there, split this, split that, fake this, fake that. Like, lurking and flanking should be a strategy. It should not be your default playstyle. No matter which agent you play. You do it based on the information and based on how the executes are going.
Smoke B instantly.
This is already dangerous, because in the first round Phoenix did a flash through the garage, and if you already want to destroy this sage wall, you should have definitely moved more towards the left side, so that you're not exposed from the garage peak and destroyed from here. But okay.
Call start. Nice, Reyna, good clear. Nice.
You see? Oh yeah, we zoomed. Okay, yeah. Let me show you like what. Sorry, chat. Sorry. So he went for this window peek. This is the most dangerous peek you can do in all of the Haven. Literally, you only do this when you know exactly where are the enemies. You do it with a flash with your teammates, but you can do it with a Chambers teleport, because as long as you're not committing too much to the fights. He was destroying the doors here. You know, this Phoenix maybe could have swung out and killed him. Like, I don't know, just make sure that you don't, you know, you're not visible whatsoever from this part.
Instantly.
And you know, this is what I was talking about. Like, brother, your teammates mow down the enemies on A site in this round. 0 resistance from the enemy team, and 4 of them. Like, that's how bad the enemies are when it comes to the defender side. And another reason, like, why would I play with my teammates here? First of all, I'm still not certain how my teammates are gonna clear all of these angles. Are they gonna anticipate the potential Phoenix flash in the A-long area of the map? Are they gonna anticipate Jet playing on the right angle on the A-long? Are they gonna anticipate enemies on all of these elevated positions? Because you need to correct all of that stuff in ranked solo queue. With your movement, your positioning, your angle clearing.
Smoke B instantly. Coast right. Nice.
Yeah, bro, as a low-ranked player, my team only knows how to do fireman running down. Should I do it with them, or should I lurk around and take my timing and cut off rotations? The first 4 to 6 rounds, on any map, you want to play together as 5. Do the best default strategies on that specific map, and the best patterns that I covered in my ranked playbook, by the way. So, once you test those waters, then you can decide how you want to play. Because you will have enormous amount of info about enemies' positioning, how aggro or how passive they play on a defender's side, where the enemies individually position, where they place their utility, and you will have better timings and better information to go for successful lurks, flanks, and stuff like that, solo plays.
Right, nigga, clear.
If you do solo plays blindly based on nothing, it's a completely 50-50 gamble, and you cannot complain if you lose those type of rounds.
Nice.
Like, our friend here, Professor, cannot complain whatsoever if 4 of these teammates die and lose the spike on A and he ends up in a 1v3. You chose your fate when you decided to pick window and decide to go for a solo play. It's so early on in the match. Same as defaulting, for an example. Defaulting cannot be a first play that you do in ranked solo queue. Defaulting is a strategy to counter something, or to give your teammates more freedom if you notice that the team play is not working. Okay, your post and position here is like okie dokie. You know, I will probably just be holding A long still because, you know, this trademark is quite easy to pass when you put it here. You know, Phoenix can curve a wall, Mix can do a smoke as well. Basically, you always want to put a trademark here because this trademark is impossible to be crossed with a smoke and with a wall. And most players, when they go for the flanks and lurks, if they go through the garage or through the mid, they will go through the window. Especially, you know, if you already killed the enemies and push the site. And they will get revealed. Like, there's no way to cross this strip whatsoever. It's impossible. Of course, the only danger is, like, if enemies went through the C-long, you know, it's easy to cross this strip with a Phoenix wall mix anyways.
We're missing one. Break dart. Bryn's playing lineups. I'm coming.
But here you can play like a Joker card, to be honest. Like, you know, you can continue playing through the long because you have a teleport in 4 seconds, and we can just support our teammates. Like, it's totally fine what you're doing right now. Just, you don't want to take a fight like this. First, you should be on the contact of your teammates, or without the teleport. If you use the teleport and took this fight, okay, no complaints. And one more tip in a situation like this, you never want to get stuck with your teleport in some position. You know, if I need to choose where to put my TP here, it's always going to be here. Always. So that I can decide where I want to go and how I want to fight later. And so that I'm not dead from some Molotovs, flashes, and those type of abilities.
Both heaven, both heaven, both heaven.
Okay. Yeah, no, we could have been a bit safer and went for a bit better peeks, you know. For example, if you already know where the enemy is here, it is much better peeking the enemies closer from the wall, like this, and going maybe for some fast crouch peek or wider swing, and then, you know, after that kill repositioning, rather than peeking from the further wall. Just your peeker's advantage is the highest when you're swinging from the closer wall with a 2-step mechanic. Like, you make 2 footsteps, 1, 2, and with a perfect crosshair placement for that position, like where that enemy was playing. Okay, that was pretty shit from the enemy team. I mean, okay. The only problem with this teleport here is, like, if the enemies push C, we're cooked, basically. And the reason why in this match I will not use it is because enemies did push in a second round A long and A short, so they might play a bit more aggressively. towards the ceiling as well. You know, when the enemies so early on show some signs of aggression, that might be their main tendency, you know, like that might be something that they're gonna try to do. And we need to account for that, you know? Also, like, secondary problem is, like, your Jet is peeking window. Whenever you have a teammate peeking window, you always wanna peek the window with that teammate. Window peek is the most diabolical peek on Haven. And the third thing is they have a Phoenix, so here you should be playing an anti-flash system. Basically just hiding behind a cover, waiting for the first 2-3 seconds to see if the Phoenix is gonna drop flash, and then you scale up. I mean, you can just go behind these boxes and be ready to swing out. These fights, personally, I would never take with automatic weapons and only with the operator. Like, the problem is, there's just so many angles to clear. Like, so many upper elevated positions where this Phoenix can play. And especially when you're going for a slow peek, like this. Like, just with one key. This guy has like 80% of chances to see you before you see him. Like, you can watch the replay here. I'm 100% certain that at this moment of time, Phoenix saw your shoulder, and that's why he was a bit more ready for this fight than you. You can watch the replay after this match, and you can tell me if I was right or wrong. And that's why, you know, he shot like this. Generally speaking, like, this type of a duel, even if you have a teleport of the chamber, you should only be taking with the operator. Like, when you're just trying to, you know, annihilate the enemies up here, you know, and just with one shot you can just send the enemies out, you know, out of the server. But with a Vandal Phantom and shit like that, fuck it, man, like, if you're scaling up through mid, like, just try to get closer to the doors, and jump spot the enemies, and then with a tip you can swing out and get the easiest frag of your life, you know, like, getting a kill like this is 10 times easier than getting a kill that you were trying to get.
Phoenix 120.
Once again, what I don't understand in this game is why we are not trying more 5-man executes. By the way, that's something I noticed in North America quite a lot, especially in these Diamondish Ascendant lobbies. My god, how many times you like to default and how many times you like to just spread on the map and do some random mumbo jumbo shit, man. Like, and I don't know why is that so? Like, why do people think that that's the right play? Is it VCT? Is it too much pro play watching or something like that? But you're not playing a pro play. Like, we just won the last round with an ease. Like, enemies didn't shoot at us, basically, like, during the execute. I mean, your teammates, you know, didn't meet any force. Like, you need to try these basic good executes and team play early on, just to test the waters a bit. Like, I mean, if enemies are shit at stopping your executes, they need to have some really good, really good retakes to hope to win this match. You can answer, yeah. You can also give your opinions. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
I'm speaking here.
that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, I'm sitting here gathering my thoughts because it's like it's hard because when I do call, if I try to call a play, like some people literally don't care. Like you said, they're on autopilot. They just do whatever they want anyways. So if I call A fight 5, fight A,
Okay.
you're still gonna have maybe your Reyna go C, or like we call rush. Like people just don't listen sometimes.
Okay. So you give a call out. Chances are, let's say 50-50, that your teammates listen. You don't give a call out. Chances are 0-100 that your teammates are not gonna listen. So, based on what do you want to gamble? Like, is this better than this? Try it at least,
Yeah,
you know. And basically, like, you know, you don't need to complicate it too much. Like, at least try. Like, pick up the spike, start towards the area of the map where you want to go, condition them mentally. Hey guys, let's do a 5-man push on A. You know, it worked out really well last time. There's only like Jet and I don't know who was playing. Like, I already forgot. Like, Jet and Mix, I think, play the Jet and Sage played on the A side. They played really passive positions. Let's try it again. Or let's try a 5-man push on C, because one thing that we noticed in this match, in the first 3 rounds, is what? Sage is always playing towards the A side and towards the B side. So Sage is not even walling the garage. Phoenix is the garage player. Sage is playing somewhere, I don't know, like around A side, A link, some bullshit like that. Jet is mainly the A player. Like, she played A pretty much every round. Sova is probably the C player, because we didn't see a Sova dart in mid or A for quite, you know, in any of the rounds that we played. And Mix is the only unknown factor, but Mix, because it's a COV type of controller with an iPad, he is probably playing around B side and just being ready to use the smokes on all 3 choke points. So already in the first 3 rounds, you got the info that you need. Okay. Based on that info, in this round specifically, I'm a push on C is a pretty good option, no? And also, like, you know, when it comes to the enemy team comp, even for the retakes, you know, I mean, they have great ultimates now for the retakes, but except the ultimates, you know, they don't have that much, like, you know, they don't have the Cypher camera, Cypher cages, they don't really have, like, breach flashes, stuns, like, teleports and stuff like that. Like, pretty much they just have, like, 2 flashes from the Phoenix, Molotov wall, and Sova drone and recon dart. Like, I mean, all of the abilities that we can dodge, avoid in some kind of a way, like, if you get in a post plant.
I'm gonna hold the long. I have off, I'm gonna hold long.
I would advise you to go for a bit wider peek here, after you clear that angle. Because enemies always have a much better timing than you to get on these positions. And the problem is, when you only clear this right here, your teammates might think that you cleared, you know, all of this, where the Jet can hold with a dash ability, Chamber can play with a teleport, maybe Reyna will have balls to play with a dismiss there, I don't know. You know? And they might just run it down without any concerns. So, you know, maybe clear this and then instantly jump up and try to clear the rest of the
Sova's here.
A long. And with we're playing op on the attack. So first of all, this is a mistake. Buying the operator right now is a huge mistake, because I personally have no idea where you can get the early kill with this operator. And when you have no idea where you can get the early kill with the operator, you never get the operator. Never. Like, you only get the op as a countermeasure for something. Like, when you get the info how the enemies are playing and where you can maybe get a pick. Where we can maybe get a pick is in the garage. Like, if you had the idea to fuck up that Phoenix in the garage, that would be fine. That duel would also be totally fine, because you're playing with the op. But here I'm pushing A. I don't really know how the enemies are playing exactly. I know approximately that there's like Jet and Sage on the A side, and you know, that's the only info I have. So it's too much of a gamble getting the operator in this round. And if you already decide to get the operator, first of all, you should not be using a teleport here whatsoever, because you have teammates with yourself and we're just fighting together. Second of all, you need to start scaling up with your teammates. Like, even though you have the operator, I don't know, pull the headhunters. If you don't feel so confident in your quick scopes and fighting quickly with the op, if you feel confident in your quick scopes and quick readjustments, like, okay, you can hold the op as well, but you need to be pressing forward.
Jet's here. Jet's over.
And we should definitely reset this teleport. I mean, TP's time is over. Very good that you went through the A-long.
Jet's over, still here. Blinded. Missing Jet. Jet top.
In this fight, you don't play with the op, you play with the headhunter. 2 reasons. Reason number 1, 8 bullets, more chances to kill the enemies on the site. Reason number 2, playing practically a refrag game with your teammates. Like, you cannot rely on the op shot here. That's something I don't like in your gameplay, is like, headhunters, like, only exist in eco rounds, you know? Like, and during an actual game, you're never abusing a fact that you have a Guardian with yourself on the mouse button 5. Also, yeah, especially because enemies are playing somewhat of a low buy round. I mean, getting the op was not really the best idea.
Backside, backside.
In this fight here, for example, you can use the op. No problem. Like, you know, clearing this backside right now, holding the backside peak, that's fine. But I really hope that you're going to realize that your teammates run away and that you're just going to go long and play this passively. Even if the Sage revives one of her teammates, we can easily win this round, like with a Brimstone Molly lineup and just killing the enemies from the A long.
Graffiti, man.
Yeah, see, I'm completely unaware that they left. They threw bomb and left. I had no idea. I was just scoped in.
You know, already like, you know, in these 16 rounds, 17 rounds, there were already like 3 rounds where I can see that it's a bit hard for you to track what your teammates are doing while something else is happening on the map. So we'll try to fix that through some training. I have like around 5-6 different trainings for like general awareness, like how to be more aware of different cues and then how to be able to check minimap a bit more, like while still anticipating the enemies and fights. We'll try one of the trainings and see how that is gonna go. If that training doesn't give us any results, I'll just send you another one. Basically, like one is gonna work for you. Trust me.
Side. Just not like see a person.
Now, based on, you know, just information that you got so far, like, it seems a bit easier to push C, but it is also mega dangerous in this round to push C because Gecko got Mix got the operator, Sova has the ultimate, and I would really not like to send my teammates here. What would also be good in this round is to do a fake. Why? The whole match so far, you condition the enemies to play more around the A site and to think more about the A site. Pretty much every round that we won was a round on the A site. So this is also a very good opportunity to do a fake. Like basically telling your Jet and Gecko to fake A. Brimstone can give them 2 smokes for tower and CT, and 3 of you guys with a spike are slowly taking space on timing onto the C side. We can also lurk through the garage as well, because enemies are always walling the B main, and Phoenix never went for the peak anymore after the round number 1. So why is that good for the fake as well? Because you're gonna get more sounds, more noise, like whether or not these 2 enemies that are playing here are actually rotating and what are they doing. Holy shit, bro. Yeah, like when you're playing against the enemy op in the A-long area of the map, always go for a jump peek and be ready for a fight, you know, in this area. Also, when you do this, there is a huge chance that you might bait out the shot from this guy, which he is definitely not gonna hit in Diamond and Ascendant lobbies, trust me. Like, I mean, even Radiant players, like, it's really fucking hard hitting a guy that is jumping up here. That's a bit better play than going for a slow peek onto this angle.
Spike down A.
Also, you know, when you notice that enemies might have the op on the defender side, it's a really good idea to tell your Jet to, you know, smoke over this choke point. I don't know why we're not doing that. And here, once again, you should be scaling up. In this example, I would probably play with my Jet, just to create some kind of a 2-2 setup, where, like, you know, Reyna and Brimstone are fighting together, I'm fighting together with a Jet, and pretty much with an op, you know, you can get good angles from both A short and A long. It's like, whatever.
Spike down A.
Wall Sage here.
Like, during the splits or during the, I don't know, like, on a defender side as well, on the postmans as well, whenever one of your teammates is playing alone, you can just play with that teammate. You know, as long as the rest of the teammates are playing on the replay potential and they have someone to trade, you can just focus yourself on this Jet here. Because once again, I see here that you're indecisive of what to do.
Wall sage here. Careful, we're wall. Mink's in the corner. I'm just kidding. I tried.
You know, like the only thing I think that you don't need to do when you're going through this area of the map with your teammates is using this teleport right here. Like, basically, if your teammates are always just gonna swing this angle as you go for a shot, we're gonna be getting the reflex, even if you die, for an example. But you're probably not gonna die, like, because, you know, you doing this, you're pretty much doing it at the same time as your teammates are doing this, you know, and we're just fighting together on a reflex potential. So you're not even gonna use a teleport to go out. It's much better, like, with a chamber, unless you're lurking, flanking, you generally want to use your teleport mainly for the executes. Mainly to fight the enemies around the choke points, around the here, through the garage, here. You know, you go C, for an example. I would never use my teleport, I don't know, like this. It's just a waste of a teleport. I can just jump spot this angle, scale up with my teammates, all the way here, put a teleport here, and now I have a TP to scale out. And no matter if I get in some fucked up situation where, you know, 3 enemies are staring at my face, I can just reset myself and go again.
Mink's in the corner.
Once again, we come, you know, to that unawareness problem. Like, you literally heard the Phoenix using the ultimate, and instead of greeting for this gun, you should have just backed the fuck off into that smoke and just live a happy life, to be honest, and be ready to refrag your Jet and Brimstone. Like, the worst thing that can happen for you in Valorant is you dying because you're greeting for the guns. With a chamber, as long as you have headhunters, you have your ultimate. You can fight any fight, pretty much.
I'm just kidding.
Enemy remaining.
Did he miss the lineup? No fucking. Sticks please that you, bro. Jesus. But one thing that is really annoying me, like when I do the VOD reviews, is when I see that players didn't try every good default option that exists on that map. You know? Like, but like if you don't try all of these options, you just didn't test all of the waters and what might work and what, you know, doesn't work. Such as fireman push on C, such as split on C, such as a default play where you take a garage, just the garage, and then after you take a garage, you decide like how you wanna pivot that round later and what you wanna do. Just like an okay.
Like, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Like, how do you go about, because like when you try to, like, let's say we call 5-man C.
Okay.
Some people, like, they don't know even like what that means or like how their utilities to be used. And then like you can only like, I feel like you can only min-max telling somebody something like, hey, dart here, hey, smoke here, before they just like don't do it, or like they get mad.
The only thing you should be concerned about early on is what type of smokes you're getting. The only teammate that you should be controlling is telling your controller to give you a proper smoke setup for that 5-man execute. Everything else we can adapt to it easily, and we can maybe fix in the future rounds. Like, what type of smokes you're getting is mega important. Everything else is adaptable to some degree. Like, for an example, in the first round, if I'm going C, all I'm gonna say is, I'm gonna pick up the spike. Hey guys, let's go C. Brimstone, give me a smoke here, and give me a smoke on this ping here. Putting a trademark here. I'm with a spike, they need to follow me. Jump spotting this angle. Letting my Jet go in front of me. Scaling up here, putting this teleport. My teammates play like a pussies. They don't want to go in. You're playing chamber, which is one perk of the chamber specifically. If the smokes are down, you can feel free to peek out with a teleport. Just take one shot, give your teammates extra confidence to move in. Your teammates are gonna move in. Now you're pushing second, third into the site, supporting your teammates, and giving them the confidence to move in. Now, you don't need perfect utility for the executes in these lobbies, because enemies, like, you're playing against the same enemies as well. Like, you're not playing VCT, essentially. Like, you're not gonna meet a Nets setup on the C site in an Ascendant and Diamond lobby, and your teammates are gonna get fucked by that setup. As a matter of fact, this whole match, enemy Sova played on C site. What can Sova do to fuck you up? Except a few arrows to deal a damage, and maybe some arrow that is very easy to anticipate on these two walls. And that's the only thing that you need to worry about. How is that? Like, even if your Sova misses a dart, doesn't use a drone, Reyna doesn't use a Gecko doesn't use a flash, for an example, but the jet goes in, we can still kill that Sova, refrag the jet, open the site, without a single proper utility usage. Especially when you're playing chamber with a teleport. And you can just pick any fight that you want. Then later, as you go through the rounds, you're kind of min-maxing things and asking yourself, like, why did I lose this round? Like, can I use some piece of my teammate's utility in a different way to have higher chance of winning this execute? Like, you notice that your jet is always smoke dashing here, fully overexposed like an imbecile, and dying. Then you suggest to this guy, hey Jet, can you maybe smoke dash into this corner? I think it's gonna work a bit better. Give her that suggestion, for an example. Initiators you cannot control. You cannot teach your Sova lineups and stuff like that. Like, that's unfortunately, you know, like that's not something that that I would even gamble on. Like, that you know, like, when it comes to initiative utility, such as Fade Eye lineups and Sova lineups, like, you should not even expect that your teammates are going to have that in their arsenal. Like, you're playing without it completely. Like, even if they give you a dart for A long, you're behaving towards that dart like it never existed. Like, you're behaving like the enemies are literally holding you on these common angles. Like, you're clearing those angles no matter what. But Gecko, for an example, you know, like, it's a very simple initiator. Just, if the Gecko is not using his flash during the executes, just tell the Gecko, when the jet is in the smoke, can you please use a flash and support us? And don't use a flash right, use a flash left, so that it spots more of these common angles where the enemies like to play. For an example. Very simple call out, like, any idiot can use a flash towards the left side up high. Don't complicate. Early on, you don't need to try too much to navigate your teammates. Controllers are the most important. Like, bad smoke will fuck you up more than anything else. Execute doesn't matter. Initiative utility doesn't matter in these lobbies. Like, nothing matters. Like, if I have bad smoke, so the round is over. I mean, it's not over. It's just gonna be interesting, you know, scaling into that space and that part of the map. And the secondary teammates that you want to control are the sentinels. You need to emphasize to your sentinels to not lurk and flank in the first 4 rounds, which you also should not be doing, for an example. Just persuade them to play together if it is possible, because every sentinel has something that is very good for the executes. Killjoy, turret, nanoswarm, like whole turret, a 6th man, 2 nanoswarms to clear the choke points, brother, play with me. Cypher with a camera, 2 cages, brother, like, very useful utility. Sage with the slow orbs, wall, fast peaks, you know, from top of the wall. Chamber with a teleport, obviously. Vito with a teleport, with a interceptor to destroy the sentinel's utility. Every sentinel is useful. Even Vise with a stupid razor vine, she can maybe drop a razor vine here and be useful to some degree. And a flash, obviously.
Yeah, I feel like in most of my games, it's honestly our second duelist that'll like to lurk on a pistol round, like a
yeah, that's also
like,
that's the first thing that I noticed in North America when I started playing on these servers. Like, how many times a secondary duelist is not playing? No, not even secondary. Like,
they play Sentinel. They honestly will play, like, they play a Senti row.
Yeah, but in that case, like, it really doesn't matter. Like, just try to persuade your teammates in the first 4 rounds to play together as 5. And then you will have some information that you can work with to correct the rounds, to make the executes better, or to give more freedom to your teammates to do something if you think it's a good idea to do it, you know? But early on,
Yeah.
the less freedom you give to your teammates, the more chances you get the refrags, and the more chances you end up on the site planting the spike and getting in a post plant. And that is how you need to play Valorant all the way up to Immortal 3. From Immortal 3, the game changes quite a lot. Quite a lot. Like, at that point, you're playing something in between ranked and VCT, like, not really, but, you know, like, I would say 80% solo queue, 20% VCT. Like, that's how I would base my gameplay there.
Got you.
Oh, he's B rushing.
Yeah, definitely one problem that we have in this match is that the Echo muted everyone from the round number 3. So even if you called in this match, like you pretty much needed to adapt everything based on this Gecko. Like, and what I would definitely try to do in this game is not giving the Gecko the spike. I would actually hold the spike every fucking round, because if the Gecko just sends it, there's nothing I can do to to prevent it, like from that wingman sending the spike somewhere. This right here, for example, is a very good timing for you to lurk. And you picked a really, really good timing here. So your teammates are sending it. You didn't see anyone in the garage. And right now, you should be getting closer to the garage, listening to the footsteps, and picking a timing to move in. Because there's really no reason right now for 4 of you guys to go through this suicide area of the map. And this is the timing that you want to pick as a sentinel to go for a lurk and flame. Plus, enemies have zero information on the map. No cipher, no killjoy, no nothing. We notice that enemies are rotating super fast. That's the information that we got from the previous rounds. So now, going for a flank and lurk actually makes a lot of sense.
They're gonna flood it. They're gonna flood it.
So here you wanna move in, start moving in, especially since he got this pick, and searching for a timing to F up the enemies through the garage. Good teleport.
Garage. He's out.
Once again, I really hope we're gonna look at the minimap and check that our Brimstone is going A.
Yeah, I like this.
I don't know where is the Sova. Do we have that info?
We don't.
No,
know.
actually, it doesn't matter.
It might have been back B.
It doesn't matter. Like, Sova was always the C player. He can only be in this part of the map right now. There's no way that he's on the A site.
I think we knew A was free, though. I think we did know A.
Absolutely.
We knew him somewhere.
I mean, you know it based on the positioning of the enemies from the previous rounds. That's why it's very important that in the first 4 rounds, what you really need to be focused on reading is like where the enemies are starting and what type of utility they're deploying early on. How many rounds we played so far? Like 7 rounds on the attack. In 7 rounds, enemies changed almost nothing. Like 6 rounds, Phoenix played in the garage. 7 rounds, Jet played on the A site. 7 rounds, Sage played around the B site and A link. 7 rounds, Mix played around A link and B site. 7 rounds, Sova is playing C alone. So we got these kills. Sova is probably somewhere here. This guy is here. Yes, like you should be taking the knife out and going A.
He's out garage. Yeah, I like this. Did we see Sova? Anybody? Alright, I'm gonna...
Now, we can make another mistake, and that is not playing with our Brimstone on the bomb site. The best way to win this post plant is playing from the site, and just playing a basic refray game. Reason number 1 is because if the enemies make a mistake, where they go from the tower and from the CT, they're absolutely fucked. Like, we can easily, from this position, pick them apart into 2 versus 1 fights, and just be done with this shit. Reason number 2 is I really want to play a proper refray game with my Sova, with my Brimstone man. Like, and the best post and positioning right now would be literally just sticking to the site. Both of you guys. Like, one guy can hold the tower from here. The other guy is just jiggle picking this and getting the info based on the sound and based on what we see. Once we get the info, we just fight together and finish this round together.
I'm gonna play lineup Larry with you back here.
Okay, now the round changes completely. You should get onto some off angle to kill this guy
Road
from
trip,
behind.
road trip.
Here.
We're still playing against the Phoenix, so we need to be ready for this.
Teleport's ready.
Because I played back here because I knew Brim wanted to play lineups. Like, he just only played lineups.
Here you should be playing closer to the Brimstone and peeking this angle. Like what Brimstone is doing right now is actually really good. You know, because this enemy that went for the flank and lurk, maybe he just destroyed the trip and went back to the B-main. And if we get that information, we know that there's only one enemy on the site and we can fight 2 versus 1.
Both, we heard both.
Okay, good teleport. Good positioning. Phoenix still has a flash. I don't know if this guy saw you.
No split.
You should jump spot this. Jump spot, and then swing.
Last player standing.
Fuck. So you lost the timing here a bit, like... You know, if an enemy is already wide open somewhere, but you don't know where exactly he is, and you have a teleport, just jump spot and then instantly go for a crouch peek and try to get that guy out of the server while you still have a teleport. And before your Brimstone means that Jesus Christ. But also, a huge mistake in this round is like, you're not following up your Brimstone. I mean, if he plays from short, you cannot see the angles on which he is gonna die. You know? And you cannot get any reflex with that guy. In a situation like this, you just you lick the butthole of that Brimstone, basically, and just fight every fight that he wanna fight. We still have a teleport. No matter in what type of situation we end up, we're fighting 2v2, plus with a teleport. So if we end up in a 1v1, we can take that 1v1 however we want, and waste as much time as we want from that enemy.
Got it. Can we try like a beast? Usually Phoenix.
Whenever you're going for the C splits, always play with the teammates that are going through the garage. Like, if you don't take the garage fast enough, and if you don't take it at all, we're fucked. Especially if you lose the spike there. So, you always play with those 3 teammates there. You can leave the jet alone in A-long. Just tell the jet to play on timing, to play a bit slower, and run it out through garage.
We made no noise.
But yeah, so something I
See,
just...
that's a one thing I noticed on the minimap. That's something else that'll happen too. Is like we'll call a C split because that's what the call was. They walked out and then they just walk back.
That's
Like
why it's very important for you to play with the teammates that have the... You in ranked solo queue, you always want to play with the teammates that have the most important task at their hands. And when you're doing a fake, why are you not playing with the teammates that are faking? Because no matter what type of bullshit they do, they're at least gonna make some contact. They just need to send it, take some fights, make some noise, like... Usually it's gonna be fine. But what type of timing your teammates take on the opposite part of the map to take the space, to show themselves, is mega important. During the splits, what your teammates that are splitting through a non-main area of the map do is far more important than what your jet is gonna do here. Like, your jet needs to just play patiently or maybe take some, I don't know, fights with the dash ability. It doesn't fucking matter at the end of the day. Even if she dies, it's okay. Like, as long as we take garage control, we can still brute force our way onto the C side, especially against the Phoenix and Sova defending C side. Like, you're playing, for an example, on split. You're doing 1-3, 1-4, or 2-3 split onto B side. You never play in main. Ever. Doesn't fucking matter which agent you play. Like, what your teammates do here with the spike, without the spike as well, is gonna determine the outcome of the whole split. Because if you don't take the tower, we are fucked. Basically, like, 2 players going through the B main, or 1 player is not gonna do that much.
So
And plus, you know, if you have pussies in the team like this, that just run it back, you need to have you need to have the confidence to be the first in the charge of clearing the angles and sending that, and doing that split.
Looks like, hold on, wait, Jet. Wait there. They're like 2 behind us. They didn't split. Flash out. Sage is here.
Oh yeah, this is not gonna go well now.
Yeah.
Shit. You know, I will probably call it off here. Like after this mix smoke, I would tell my teammates to slow down and go back. Because if the mix is already here, that fast with the smoke, brother, we're gonna be fighting 3 or 4 enemies right now on the C side. We just gave enemies too much time to think about everything. Because, you know, same as you played on a defender side. If I was this Jet, and I saw nobody in this A-long area of the map for 5 to 7 seconds, I would be like, okay, these guys that are always 5-man pushing are not going A. I'm just gonna rotate and we're just gonna put more focus here. Plus, the enemies probably have a Sage wall in the B-man choke point. So they don't need to worry about that as well.
Sage is here.
But, if your teammates wanna send it through here, you are sending it, my man. Looking at the minimap through this smoke, deciding where to fight, jumping through this smoke, trying to get a kill, and refraying your teammates.
Binding one. Logs.
So the worst thing you can do here in this situation is be indecisive. Fuck it. If your teammates already, one or two of your teammates already want to send it, and you have a teleport, and run it down, your chances of dying are very low as long as you don't overcommit to the fights. Like there's a Sage lore here. Do this. Pick any fights. You can still TP away, apply some pressure, distract the enemies maybe get a kill, but you're still supporting your teammates to some degree.
Just spam.
That was a miracle, I'm not gonna lie. Gerard Walkery, bro, like, what the fuck? Okay.
Get out of my way.
Okay, this is like the first round where the enemies actually changed how they play. For that 10 rounds, for 8 rounds they play the same. So I never did this arrow. Like, just never did this push. Like, because this is also the first time where you actually wanted to test your waters into the seaside. Once again, this peek, how you're doing it, is very dangerous in A-long. Just take a look at the ranked playbook on my Discord server. Like, I literally cover the how to peek every angle, how to clear every angle on every map, how to hold every position properly or in the most optimal way. Like, a playbook should be like your holy grail when it comes to, you know, just general engagement and pathing on every map. And it really doesn't matter which agent you're playing. You know, you can apply that for every single character. And once again, like, you know, this type of thing that you're doing here is just not good based on the information that you gather from the previous rounds. Because if you wanted to lurk up somewhere, it would either be C-long or garage. Because your teammates are sending it B. Like, yes, enemies from A are gonna rotate, but you with the operator have a lot of angles to clear, or you need to speed up this shit a lot more. Like, sorry. Let's make it simple. One thing that you notice, when you notice that enemies on the defender side are rotating super fast, you can pick faster timings to lurk and flank. It is simple as that. When you notice for 8 rounds that enemies are never pushing behind you, except in the second round, but it never happened in the last 6 rounds, pick faster timings to move in and take more space. Here, you didn't see anyone A-long. Nobody saw you as well. Fuck it. Like, Cat Hunter in the hands. Let's start listening to the sound on the A side. And as soon as I hear enemies running through the A-link, I'm gonna start clearing these angles and going for a very fast flank and lurk.
Get out of my way.
Because especially here with the operator, I mean, you're gonna be pretty useless to support your teammates in the B main. Because enemies are probably gonna smoke the choke point here and you're not gonna see shit and you'll have to play far more aggressively. Plus this information that the enemy jet is here is also very good. That kind of suggests to you that there's only one player defending A set right now. And that player is probably enemy Sage. Or enemy Phoenix.
Can they wall us at all? They can just smoke us.
Yes. I don't know why did you reset your teleport here, because, you know, for this post plant, your teleport is really good. Like, Spike is literally planted for you. That's a bit unlucky.
Can they wall us at all? They can just smoke us.
And in the B post plants, try to really avoid getting stuck in this right angle. Like, generally speaking, like, especially when you're playing op, you never want to be stuck in some kind of an angle where you don't have more options to decide how you want to fight the enemies. Like, while it's much better to play from the left side, you can decide where you want to go. Do you want to go through the garage, then in the ceiling? Do you want to fight from the garden? Do you want to go back into the window and then from the window pick the fights again? But here you have no options except to force the fights and pray to God that your brimstone is gonna peek on your contact.
A flank, Broom. A flank gone.
Also,
A flank.
what I don't like a bit when you're holding the angles and when you're peeking them, like, you're never taking in account, like, angle perception whatsoever. You know, this angle is pretty dangerous to hold if the enemy Phoenix can engage you from the right side, because he's gonna see you much sooner that you see him. Brimstone is not even holding that position for you, and this is the fight that you don't want to take. Now, what you can do here, for an example, is basically, just a second, just holding the scale up from the enemies. We're still fighting 4v3, 4v2, you know, 3v2 now, 2v2, whatever. Like, we know that Sage is on the side, we know that Phoenix is on the side. The only thing that we didn't know is where is this enemy Sova. Not like,
Yeah, he just broke true. Yeah, he just broke true.
I know. But at the moment of time here, like when you ended up in this position, holding this angle, you didn't know where is the Sova. But we don't need to be concerned too much about that, like, because we cleared the whole garage. Like, you know, we have a trip for the back as well. Like, you could have easily held an angle like this, for an example, and just wait to see what enemies are gonna do. Once they tap the spike, you can peek out, take a kill. That's it, bro. Much better than holding an angle like this. Now the Phoenix goes for some slow peek here. He sees the tip of your gun already here. He can come a bit closer, maybe kill your Brimstone, then surprise you as well, and that's it. Or you could have just committed more to the angle. Like, when you're in that type of situation, this is also totally fine. Now I see the guy peeking there. I see this guy as well. And I can actually flick and be ready for every fight on my screen without losing any information.
Broom. A flank gone. Not on.
I would definitely like when you lose the info about the enemies, instead of instantly peeking them, that you first jump spot that angle to get the info, and then you take a fight. Just so that you're more mentally and physically ready for a fight, and for every possibility or possible angle where the enemies might be at that moment of time. Especially in a 2v1 where you really don't need to be the first contact here or take the fight alone.
Silver darted A.
What the fuck is that dart, bro? Oh, that was funny. But the funny thing is, like, you can still die here because you literally have no info on the right side. Trust me, like, you will win far more many rounds if you just play with your teammates during these executes. Or when they want to go B, if you're trying to pick a timing through the garage and C long. Because clearing the A takes more time. A lot of the players like to take these early angles where anyways they're going to see you, so that you're going to be compromised, essentially. And you're risking it too much for a match that is 11-10 right now. Like, and also, you know, since the Gecko has comms shut down, like, giving the spike to the Gecko is pretty dangerous, hobby. in this game.
Spike down B.
Did you just come out garage? Wait for me.
One enemy remaining.
Garage. Of course I got
Okay.
garage.
Okay.
Enemy remaining.
Okay. I mean, like, you kind of knew this, no? Like,
Yeah, I did. In the comm, I say he always plays garage. Why did I not hold it? Like after I die.
What would also be a good decision here, like when the gecko got these
Wait for me.
all of these kills,
One enemy.
is just to chill here a bit, to see what's gonna happen, where like where this Phoenix is gonna come from, instead of instantly scaling towards this gecko. But also, of course, like scaling towards the gecko was a good decision. You should have just held your headhunter and been ready for the left fights, and that's it.
Remaining.
Because you already were, mentally ready for that. Oh my god, how many, I mean, one option that we didn't try is supporting our teammates, like, that's like the first option that we should have tried here, since our gecko wanna send it one more time. But hey, like, one good thing is that this time you're trying to lurk up through C-Long, and I think that this might work. The only thing I would try to do here is I would wait 2 seconds to see if the Sova is going to use the dart. Because the only 2 darts he was using is like some dart here, which is absolutely stupid, and some dart in the A-Long. So we can just, when you see that initiators are using this early utility, like wait a few seconds, dodge it, and then go with your play. Okay, when you're clearing these angles, you need to be a bit more precise with it and a bit faster. Like, how should the jiggle peeking look like here? Bam, 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 bam. Just a bit faster and a bit more precise. Like, you're just way too slow with it, and you stop at the wrong moments of time. We're not really clearing, like, if I'm clearing this position, I would expose myself a bit wider, where this guy still doesn't have a shot to kill me, but I can spot his outline, his pixel there, and I can be ready for that fight during the second jiggle peek, I will not be doing this. Now I stop here, this guy sees my shoulder, and now he is ready for that fight. Like, we can easily just do this. Bam. You're mainly ready for this fight up here. You see a guy there, bam, you can just swing out and kill that motherfucker. Then, because you clear this angle and this angle as well, you can swing out a bit wider, jiggling these angles, and now moving forward with the gun out, checking this position, waiting for a timing to hear the enemy's rotation and footsteps or whatever. Your team has to take more space. Then we can drop down and start clearing the angles one at a time.
That's Jet C. Jet jumping and
And once again, like, if this was some kind of supposed to be like a C-split, you should definitely play with your teammates in garage. But right now, you don't have that option. You should be running down with the jet, to be honest. Yeah, you should be running down with the jet.
Try to go backside. Careful green, careful green. 2 backside, off.
Okay. Sova is probably still backside, so we need to aim at the plateau. This is something that should not be happening. Like, this is something that you should tell your Brimstone brother. Can we get the smoke for the CT and for the window if we go for this split? Thank you very much. And right now, instead of holding this angle, you should be clearing the side, because do we know where is the Sova? Am I just blind or something? Because Sova can still be plateau and maybe on this corner.
Everything in the open.
Angles on which your teammates fight are the angles on which you want to fight as well. Like, it is pointless for you to hold this position while your jet is picking the fights from a deeper angle. In this situation, you have only 2 options. 3 options. Option number 1, fuck the jet, play with the Brimstone, instantly take the trades here. Anyways, chances that enemies expect 2 players here that fast, pretty low. Option number 2, instantly start running towards the jet. Start taking the reflex. start taking the fights together. Option number 3, walk up closer to the angle, so that when Jett gets in a fight, you can surprise the enemies with a fast peek, get multi-kills. Now, one mistake you want to avoid. Dulik, you want to play Redsec tonight? I'm going to download it. Like, one thing that you want to avoid with the chamber is being anchored by your teleport. Like, your teleport is a tool to take some initial space in a safe way. And as long as your teleport achieves that purpose, that's fine. You don't need to play around it. Like, your number one priority, no matter which agent you're playing, is that you're scaling up with your most aggressive teammates that have the higher chance of dying. You're protecting them, clearing the angles together with them, and taking the space. Even if you cannot play around your teleport. As long as your TP allows you to take this part of the map safely, leave it, go forward. If your teammates want to go forward, go into the garage. It's fine. Like, I just see way too many chamber players, like, you're conditioning yourself to play around your teleport because you feel the safest around that teleport, but playing around the teleport is not always the most optimal play. It's the optimal play when you're taking the space, but once you take that initial sector 1, sector 2, fuck it. Leave the TP, reset it, play with your teammates. In this case, we can also leave this teleport in the C-long because we can use it later in the postplan, maybe, you know, why not? But we should definitely be scaling up further. Because, you know, already here you could have picked that timing to maybe surprise this Sova and this Phoenix with a second peek after the Brimstone. Do you think that these two guys will be ready for that? But there's no fucking way. Or if you got a bit closer to the wall, this match would already be over. I mean, this round would be over.
Enemy remaining.
Nice shot.
I mean, even here, I don't think this guy's gonna be ready and you're gonna, yeah.
Coming back, I'm coming back. Coming back, Echo. He's healing garage.
Okay.
Nice shot, Gecko.
I would not recommend you to knife people in Valorant because knife is a very interesting mechanic in this video game. And it's very easy to miss it, but okay. You know, like, I love a bit of a disrespect. Farming those stats for the tracker, you know, like those. Oh, come on, bro, like. But believe it or not, like, this is the only round where you're doing a proper flank and proper lurk and a proper play. Like, enemies have mixed and Sova ultimate, so just sending it together as 5 through C-long is a really bad idea, and I will not do it. But if my teammates wanna do it, going for this lurk through the garage is very good because once again, enemies don't have a single sentinel, any utility there, and pretty much like the whole time they were rotating really fast, and maybe we can pick a timing to lurk up through B main and garage to make this 4-man push actually work out. Those are also the rounds where it is a good idea to go for a solo play. When your teammates are doing some diabolical execute that has very low chances of working because of the enemy's utility and enemy's ultimate status, and you can maybe recorrect that execute with a solo play. The only problem here is trademark setup. You should have used this trademark 100% somewhere around the somewhere around the A-long, because you're lurking up through mid, and you cannot like risk dying from like an enemy that does this, for an example, because you will have to pick a bit slower timings, and God knows what type of timing this guy is gonna pick up. And also, you know, if you're already putting a trademark for the C push, put it here always. Like, basically you protect these 3 lanes and that's it. Or, you know, put it in the middle of here if you want to be extra safe about it. You should not be picking this first. Like here, you should just be playing behind this box, chilling, relaxing, waiting for your teammates to get at least here, close to the choke point, and then we're going in. And whenever you're like lurking up mid alone and contesting enemies from the garden alone, always walk up here, jump up here first, clear the top mid, then drop down, and then start walking towards the garage. Okay, that went pretty painless considering the enemy's utility.
I'm fine side with him. He's help him. Not out. Careful garage, I'm going backside. 2 garage, 1 garage. Healing. Both.
One enemy remaining.
So, okay, I mean, like, how you play this postplan was totally fine. One thing that you really want to do during the postplans is that if your teammates are playing passively on the site, usually you want to try to get the best postplan positions on that site. For an example, you know, on C site, usually when your teammates are playing a passive postplan, you want to get this box, and from this box, go for the refrags. On B site, usually this position is the best because it allows you to fight in both C-Link and A-Link and to support your teammates really fast. On A side, the ultimate postplan position is like literally middle of the site because you can fight quite literally everywhere around these boxes. And the ending of this round was like, okay, even though I think that maybe you could have picked even better timing to not only kill Jet, but multiple enemies, like through the beamman or through the garage. Overall, like what you're suffering from is not really... Agent is not the problem here. Like, as already mentioned, like, pretty much you can play anything, but just how much you're trusting your teammates, how you're organizing your teammates, when you're deciding to flank, lurk, timings that you're picking, that's the problem. That's something that you need to take a look into and fix in your gameplay. Just this whole attacker side was way too overcomplicated based on the rank in which we are playing and based on the team compositions and how enemies play the early 4 rounds on a defender side. Like, you really need to value that information a bit more from the previous rounds and ask yourself more, like, what did the enemies do and what can I expect from the enemies. I will give you some kind of a training that's gonna force you to naturally think a bit more about reading that type of information, or just collecting that type of information on the go as you play the game. You know, some peaks, some fights can be definitely a bit cleaner. You know, during some fights, like, you can definitely use maybe a jump spot mechanic to get the info about the enemies and then swing out with a proper crosshair placement and a bit faster peek from a closer wall, abusing the maximum peeker's advantage. And on a defender side, your whole positioning can be completely changed. You know, early positioning, basically. Like, you can be far more efficient abusing, like, 2-3 extra angles and off angles compared to what you're doing with the Chambers teleport and Chambers utility. But even on other agents as well, like, you know, you can apply the same or similar, like, thought process where you don't only want to get 1 or 2 angles to fight the enemies, you want to get, like, 4 or 5 safe fights before you leave certain position. And rotations on defense were fine. Team play on defense was, like, mostly good as well. Early position could have been a bit more better structured, and it is totally fine, like, if you gamble a bit more, when you already know exactly where the enemies are gonna go next. Like, if you're 80% certain, based on your feeling, based on some rules, some tips that I've shared with you, that enemies are gonna do something, based on their utility status, gamble on it. It's better to play a 5v5 retake rather than playing 1 versus 5 retake, once your teammates lose the site and lose the opposite part of the map. The worst thing you can do in ranked solo queue, below Immortal 3, is not being the first contact with the enemies on the defender side in most of the rounds. Like, basically not contributing to the early defense of the most probable positions where enemies can kill you. I mean, where enemies are gonna go in that specific round. Because, you know, if you know, in one match, if you play 8 retakes, I mean, like, there's not that much you could have done to win that game, like, to be honest. If every retake is like 3v5, 3v4, 2v3, some shit like that, you know? When it comes to the attacker side, also, like, you really need to stop playing alone so many times. Like, you need to do it based on some information. Like, you cannot just blindly decide, oh yeah, this is the time to pick up the AWP and do a solo play. Oh yeah, this is definitely the time for me to go mid. I don't really know how the enemies are playing, but I hope I'm gonna do something. No. Let's test all of the team play best options first, and then once we get some good info about the enemy's positioning, rotations, utility usage, then you can pick really good timings to F up the enemies and win the rounds alone. Mechanically, I would say that, you know, you're just inconsistent at quite everything. You know, like, you're not bad. You're not the best aimer as well. You're just pretty much, you know, some shots are amazing. Sometimes it's like I'm watching a Immortal 2-3 player aiming and moving. Sometimes it's like low diamond, essentially. So I'm gonna develop some kind of an aim training routine for you that's gonna basically focus on every single aspect of mechanical mastery in Valorant, and you will be following that routine for the next 8 weeks. And then once you complete that routine for the next 8 weeks, you can just you know, analyze yourself where you struggle the most after you go through that training period. Like, just in 8 weeks from now, like, record a few death matches, a few games that you play. Just focus on how you engage the enemies, your crosshair placement, your movement, micro adjustments, tension management, like, all of that stuff. And just based on what you see, hyper focus on only 1 or 2 problems. But for the next 8 weeks, we're just gonna focus on literally everything, every mechanical aspect in Valorant, and we're gonna just try to upgrade everything for like 10-20% from what, you know, from how your mechanics look right now. You'll also get some general training as well, some private coaching videos that are gonna explain all of these topics a bit deeper. You definitely need to go through the playbooks a bit, you know, and apply some of these most common rules and most common tips that I mentioned on every single map in Valorant. And you're gonna get a blueprint, how to do self-analysis, like some questions, some answers that you can ask yourself, and how to be efficient with that thing. I would definitely avoid watching the pro play and VCT as much as you do, because you mentioned in the Discord message that you're watching it quite a lot, and I would focus more on observing, like, ranked games from these pro players and Radiant players. Of course, you cannot really replicate everything, but you will learn a bit more than from watching VCT. You know, like, VCT is just gonna poison your mind to expect the most optimal team play game in ranked environment. But basically, ranked environment is complete opposite of VCT. Like, in VCT matches, like, in, you know, in pro games, tier 2, tier 3, tier 1, like, you get in a game with an expectation that your teammates are gonna do an optimal play at every single moment of time. In ranked solo queue, you get in a game with an expectation that your teammates are gonna be bad, that you will have to compensate every single mistake, and that your teammates at every single moment of time will do a suboptimal play until they prove you wrong in the first 4 to 6 rounds. So you need to meet them, you know, who you're playing with and against in those early learning rounds. When it comes to agents, I don't know, man. Like, you know, you didn't play that much of a variety of characters. Definitely something more aggressive will help you fix some of these playstyle problems that you have. Like, for example, like Jet, or maybe even Omen, maybe like something maybe like more team oriented as well, like Breach, or some Fade, for an example, Raze, Phoenix, pretty much I would go into this into this route with you. But since I really don't think that the agent is the problem, you know, like all of your problems are more like fundamental problems rather than problems of you using the chamber, you know, like, you're not a shit chamber, you're playing chamber okay, you can just play it in a bit more optimal and efficient way. So chamber can, like, definitely stay one of your main agents, but beside chamber, I would definitely lock in something that can play in a bit more diversified way, where you can play aggressively, passively, where you can support your teammates at any moment of time, where you have a bit more options than with the chamber, and you need to think about a bit more stuff than you need to think when you're playing a sentinel, for an example. So I'll probably just go with Omen as some secondary flex pick, you know, and we don't need to go the Jet route right now. Like, basically, chamber can be your main, and Omen you can flex and fill and try learning for the next 8 weeks, just to expand yourself a bit, like, just to learn the timings of, like, proper executes, utility usage, proper pathing between you and your teammates, and diversifying your weapons as well, because with Omen you can practically abuse every single weapon in the game, like, to a very high efficiency levels as well. Omen is definitely not gonna bring you into Immortal 3. I don't see you as an Omen main in a long run, but Omen is gonna be a very good practice tool for you to diversify yourself so that you can become a better player and progress a bit faster from maybe like November to January, November to the end of December of this year. Then you can maybe switch the Omen for Jet and keep these two agents as the main characters all the way up to Immortal 3. And the whole plan I'm gonna share with you is gonna be like very simple. I just want you to reach Immortal 3 in the shortest amount of time possible, and I want you to become a consistent medium elo player in the following 8 weeks. Do you have any questions right now?
I don't. Like I said, I think you made me think about stuff like I just never even thought about. Like, I thought I was thinking enough, but then hearing you say this stuff, it's like, it just opened my brain a lot.
In that case, great. In that case, amazing. It was a
Like
successful session.
Yeah, like I said, it helps a lot, because like I said, I've been in the same spot for years. So like, I definitely, even like the idea of an agent swap, it's because I've tried that before in a very minute. So like, I was like, oh, maybe I'll play Sova Fade or something just to try it out. But after a couple weeks, I'm like, I don't like it, so I give it up.
The thing is, like, you know, why I generally recommend Omen so much is because, like, Omen is a very good learning tool, and especially for the players like you. Like, basically, Omen is everything in Valorant, like, can literally fill any role, any playstyle, and has so many different playstyles that you can incorporate with him, as long as you play him as both support and duelist as well. You can abuse pretty much every angle, off angle, every setup that Chamber uses as well with this character. And but just keep in mind that Omen is definitely not gonna bring you to Radiant, maybe not even up to Immortal 3. Like, but it's gonna help you so much with like, just try to stay away from that like how do you say that in English? Like, just that trap, like, where players pick Omen and now you're just consistently acting as a support, dropping the smokes, paranoia. On the defender side, you're just anchoring the bomb sets and bullshit like that. Play him as you play the Chamber, play him as you play the Jet, play him as you play the Clove, that's Omen, basically. Like, as long as you avoid that loophole, you focus on the playbook a bit on my Discord server, like, I think this is gonna be a very great helping additional tool, combined with the training that you're gonna get, that's a solution for you right now. But once again, like, Chamber suits you really well, in my opinion. I think that Chamber is gonna be the agent that potentially brings you into Radiant, believe it or not. Just, you fundamentally play the game kinda not in the most optimal way, and you're not efficient enough with everything that you do, like how you pick the angles, how many angles you abuse, which angles you abuse, like when you play with your teammates and stuff like that. Okay, my man, it was nice meeting you. You will have my 24/7 support for 7 days, so we can discuss any additional questions later. And we're gonna keep our talks through the private messages. Okay.
I appreciate you, man.
All good, man. All good, man. See ya in a few hours from now. I mean,
Thanks, man.
You're gonna hear from me. Take care. Take care. Okay, that will be our friend Professor. Thank you for watching. Leave a like, leave a subscribe, leave a comment, all of that good stuff. Join Discord server for coaching soon. We're making the Radiant Academy. There's gonna be amazing stuff on Discord. Also, some pro players are gonna be in the academy, and you'll have a lot of content to learn from. Other than that, Frost, roll the closer.